Christ, man. Come on down. Oh, yeah. I'm started, man.
You weren't even supposed to.
Can y'all hear me?
Con, I hear you out.
All right, we live.
Yeah, Con.
All right, we good then. Con? I don't know if y'all live on y'all end. Are we good?
Yeah, Shalom. We good, Elder. We live right now.
Okay, Con. All right, Con. We get this nonsense out. I'm still learning this thing myself, y'all. All right, y'all here? Can y'all hear me?
Con, I hear you.
All right, are we on live? We on live. We on live. Shalom. We on live.
Yeah, we live right now, Con.
Okay. All right. Still figuring this thing out, y'all. Salakia. Shabbat Shalom, family. Shalom. Yahabah Shem Yahweh Shabakatham to the Akim. Yahabah Shem Yahweh Shashamathun to the Akwafium. Salakia, a lot going on. Israel, man, let's pray for each other, man. Pray for each other. A lot of sickness, death, affliction. You know, we in the last days, so let's keep each other prayed up. So we here. Late start, so this is probably gonna have to be a two-part class because I got a lot I want to bring out, and being that we starting a little later, well maybe I could hopefully be able to sneak a good portion of the class in. So without further ado, familiarity breeds contempt. All right, familiarity breeds contempt. What does the Bible say about that statement? All right, going all the way back, I believe it goes all the way back to the Greeks. With the parable of the lion and the fox, if I'm not mistaken. Put that meaning up, Arya. Familiarity breeds contempt. Put up that AI meaning that I sent to you, part 1 and part 2, or it may be 3 parts. Put the first one up. All right, so we're going to deal with how the scriptures, how the statement familiarity breeds contempt, how it deals with the scriptures, what dynamics the scripture goes into when it deals with this topic. Shout out to my our brother Shemaiah. Most High took him back to the spirit realm, but the brother would always say that to me. He would always say, Elder, you know, a lot of times the backlash that you and Elder Torah get is because of familiarity breeds contempt. All right, the more people get to know you or think they get to know you, let's keep that in mind. The more people think they know you, they start to lose respect for you. All right, blow that up on the screen. little bit more? If you can, yeah, the beginning part. All right. Read that for me, that first part.
Con. Familiarity breeds contempt. Means that knowing someone or something too well can lead to a loss of respect, admiration, or appreciation. It stems from the tendency to stop valuing what is readily available or to focus on the flaws through excessive, monotonous exposure. It is often used to describe romantic, personal, or workplace relationships becoming dull or strained.
Right. So one of the things I want to point out there is familiarity breeding contempt. Like I said, it's when someone or something becomes too familiar, or you believe too familiar with you, and you start to lose respect or appreciation. I want to harp on that also. You start losing respect because it's becoming so familiar to you. You used to it. And that happens with this truth. That happens with leadership. That happens with brothers and sisters. That happens with camps. That's why you see a lot of camps split up. Because that familiarity, it brings lack of respect and appreciation. And what happens is when you don't appreciate something or someone or something, what happens? You start to take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start taking it for granted, you start losing respect for it, and it becomes unvaluable. You start to devalue it because you get used to it. Just like a car, a house, anything. People say, I got a house, but I don't like this house. I want a newer house. I've been in this house for 20 years. You got a car. I've had this car for 10 years. I want another car. You in a relationship, a marriage. I've been married for 30 years. I need something new. People do that. You become used to something so much, you start to lose respect for it or that person, and you start to devalue and not appreciate that person or thing. Kind?
Con.
And a lot of times you think you know somebody. You think you're familiar with somebody. Because a lot of times people lose respect for people they really don't know. You think you know them. And what's the key thing? You see flaws. Every human being has flaws. So we're going to show you some examples with Yahawashi, which was one of the greatest examples of familiarity breeding contempt. The people thought, oh, we know him. That's Jesus of Nazareth. That's the carpenter's son. We're going to get into a little bit of all of that. It turns into a lack of appreciation or value or respect. Read on the meaning.
Origin. Often attributed to Aesop's fables, The Fox and the Lion, or associated with religious texts, such as Yahawashi noting a prophet is without honor in his own town.
Khan, we're going to get into that. Read on.
Core concept. As familiarity with a person increases, the likelihood of finding faults or taking them for granted rises.
Right. Read that part again, Gabar Ash.
Gone.
That last part again.
Core concept. As familiarity with a person increases, the likelihood of finding faults or taking them for granted rises.
Right. The more you know somebody or you get familiar with them, so you believe or you think you know them, the likelihood that you see their flaws. Salakia, read that last part again, Salakia.
As familiarity with a person increases, the likelihood of finding faults or taking them for granted rises.
Right. The likelihood of finding fault or taking that person for granted rises. And that can be as many, remember, LLD, levels, layers, and dynamics. It can be a person, a relationship, a leader, somebody you courting or getting to know, a friend, a family member. I mean, it goes on so many different levels. The more familiar you become, it's a likelihood that you stop respecting that person, or you look at their flaws, or you see things about them, and what happened, you start to lose respect. All right, read on. The next part of that AI meaning. So everybody get the concept so far, right?
Con.
And this happens. This happens a lot with Israel. This happens with us as a people in the truth, everything. We start to take each other for granted and we see flaws. We get too comfortable. We start thinking we know each other, or maybe you do know this person. And you start to have a lack of respect. And you shouldn't do that, especially in the truth. If a brother or sister is trying to serve the Most High and Yahawashi to the best of their ability, they're going to have flaws. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to have shortcomings. You should still have that respect for them as a fellow brother or sister in this truth. From a leader on down to the newest, youngest brother that come in the faith.
Con.
Newest, youngest brother or sister that comes in the faith. It should be that same level of respect. Now, of course, you might have an elder, a senior man. Certain people are on different levels, but that general respect and love for your fellow Israelite as a nation, that should always be there. Don't get too familiar with a brother or sister. You start to take them for granted, or you start to lose respect for them. Don't get too familiar with your job. You start taking it for granted, because the Lord will take that job and you don't have nothing now. Don't get too familiar with that house or that car or that closet full of clothes or whatever. You better learn to appreciate what you do have. If you want more, work hard, do it in the spirit, and be appreciative and humble, but don't take it for granted because it's just there. Don't let that familiarity with it. Oh, my house always going to be there. My car always going to be there. My job always going to be there. That brother always going to be there. That sister going to be there. No. You better appreciate it and do different things to show your appreciation to the Most High while you have it. Because you get too comfortable because you're so familiar with it, you take it for granted. A person, a place, or a thing. Read on.
Con. Examples. Couples in long-term relationships may lose appreciation for each other.
Right.
Or in
Salakia. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I'm tired of this nigga. Right? This woman get on my damn nerves. God, it happens. It happens. God?
Con.
You ever seen somebody, like, even growing up in the world, we see it on TV, so whatever, people just get bored and frustrated with their relationships. Just because they've been with the same person for a long time. Instead of trying little new things, learning to appreciate each other, keeping up that same energy from when you first met each other. That year or two you was putting up, you was on your best behavior, so nice and sweet and everything. After that year or two, the real you come out. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, damn. Your wife would be like, damn, baby, you don't give me flowers no more. When we first met, before we was in together, you got me flowers every day. Now you don't, dog. I got the one. I got her now. That's my woman already. That's my wife already.
Right.
Damn, babe, you used to cook. You used to serve me. You were so good with that. What happened? That familiarity or flaws come in, or familiarity breeding contempt cannot always be, it's not always a bad thing, because sometimes you can show people things about you that they get used to and they get turned off. That can happen also. So read on.
Couples in long-term relationships may lose appreciation for each other, or employees may lose respect for managers they see daily.
Right. A lot of times people do it with authority. I know from being a leader in this truth. Brothers and sisters, I hear it all the time. Brothers and sisters, they get comfortable with you, especially if you're down to earth and you're accessible, you 10 toes down, you hands on. They start taking you for granted. They get too comfortable. Right, go ahead.
Psychological drivers, desensitization due to repetition can lead to boredom and a decline in positive emotional responses.
Right, a lot of times it's just general boredom. People get used to people and they get used to places and things and they just get bored. It's the same thing. Remember, earlier up we read monotony, monotonous. Like Will Smith said in Summertime. Just a little something to break the monotony.
Monotony, right.
You know what I'm saying? People get tired, they get bored, they get, especially Israel. Israel, a lot of times, Israel don't even know why they want something new or somebody new or want to do something new. They just tired of the same thing. The familiarity, it starts to turn them off because they just so used to it and they start to lack appreciation for it. You know, I talk about relocation a lot of times. A lot of times people just want to get up and go just because they don't even know why they want to do it. Especially with a city like New York, I've seen hundreds. I be walking down the street laughing at people. They be like, "Why you laughing?" Because I said I knew you would be back. Or like, I can't stand New York. I gotta get out of here. And what? 2, 3, 4 years later, they back. Oh, I went to such and such, but it ain't like New York, man. At least I could hustle here. I got family here. I could survive. You know why? Because when you got up and left, it's not like you relocated for a job or a family or a certain situation. You did your due diligence. All right, this city is a little bit better for what I need, whatever. You just got bored. You just got tired of the same scenery. And there's really nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times when you do things like that with no valid reason or nothing solid behind it, it don't work out. You just bored and wanted something new and it just didn't work out. Right, go ahead.
Criticisms. The phrase is not universally true. Studies and common experience show that familiarity can also foster deeper love, intimacy, and trust.
Right. A lot of times familiarity doesn't always breed contempt. Familiarity can breed respect because people, they do know you or they are used to something and it's reliable. You know what I'm saying? It's like you've been doing business with a person for 25 years and you kept it the same. You've been the same that whole 25 years. That person is familiar with you, so you're reliable. So that familiarity or being known is not always a bad thing. It can also be a good thing. Go ahead.
Right. Alternative view. It is not necessarily familiarity that breeds contempt, but rather the failure to maintain a positive connection and appreciation.
Go ahead.
Avoiding familiarity breeds contempt. Create space. Nurture individual hobbies and maintain personal boundaries. Cultivate appreciation. Focus on the positive attributes of a partner or situation rather than taking them for granted.
Oh, that's it on that?
Done.
All right, so now go back to the top meaning, Aria, of familiarity breeds contempt. So we're gonna get into the examples, some examples in the scripture with Yahawashi and the prophets. Read that one more time from the top.
Done. Familiarity breeds contempt, means that knowing someone or something too well can lead to a loss of respect, admiration, or appreciation. It stems from the tendency to stop valuing what is readily available or to focus on the flaws through excessive, monotonous exposure. It is often used to describe romantic, personal, or workplace relationships becoming dull or strained.
All right, go to so let's start with St. John chapter 1, and we're gonna start at 29. All right, let's start with Yahawashi. Now, Yahawashi was what? He was born in Bethlehem, but he was raised in Nazareth. Now, we're going to show you that Nazareth was not respected because it was known, or people were familiar with it, for kind of being like the hood. We're going to show you that in a minute. I don't want to jump the gun, but they didn't respect the city of Nazareth. That's where Yahawashi was brought up. All right, but let's go to St. John 1 and 29. Let's start with that. Read that.
It's the book of John, chapter 1, verse 29. They're gonna pull it up on the screen or no?
St. John 1:29. Y'all gonna put it up? All right, St. John 1:29. All right,
it's the book of St. John. It's the book of St. John, chapter 1, verse 29. The next day, John seeth Yahawashi coming unto him, and saith, Behold, the Lamb of Yahweh, which taketh away the sin of the world.
Right, it said, Behold, the Lamb of the Most High, which taketh away the sin of the world. The world is Israel. But eventually, all the nations going to bow down and serve the power of Israel. So sin is going to be taken out of the earth completely when Yahawashi shall make his second return. But he first came to take away sin from Israel so we could repent and become the chosen nation again. And then eventually the whole world, meaning all the nations going to bow down, but Israel first coming back into power. Then we make the nation serve the Most High. Read on.
This is he of whom I said, After me cometh a man which is preferred before me, for he was before me.
Go ahead.
And I knew him not, but that he should be made manifest to Israel. Therefore am I come baptizing with water.
Right, so Yahawashi had to be made manifest to Israel. Israel. That was the world he came to take away the sin from. But yes, eventually it's going to be all nations, but there is a racial hierarchy and there is an order to how everything is going to happen. So Israel first. Read on.
And John bare record, saying, I saw the Spirit descending from heaven like a dove, and it abode upon him. And I knew him not, but he that sent me to baptize with water, the same said unto me, Upon whom thou shalt see the Spirit descending and remaining on him, the same is he which baptizeth the Holy Spirit.
God.
And I saw and bear record that this is the Son of the Most High.
Right, so many people through the Spirit, they knew who Yahawashi was. And if they didn't know, eventually the Spirit showed them. Read on.
Again, the next day after John stood, and two of his disciples, and looking upon Yahawashi as he walked, he saith, Behold, the Lamb of the Most High.
Go ahead.
And the two disciples heard him speak, and they followed Yahawashi. Then Yahawashi turned and saw them following, and saith unto them, What seek ye? They said unto him, Rabbi, which is to say, being interpreted, Master, where dwellest thou? He saith unto them, Come and see. They came and saw where he dwelt, and abode with him that day, for it was about the 10th hour.
Right, about 4 p.m. Right, go ahead.
One of the two which heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother.
Right, so this is Andrew, one of the 12, Peter's brother. Go ahead.
He first findeth his own brother Simon, and saith unto him, we have found the Messiah, which is, being interpreted, the Christ.
Right, so because Christ comes from Christos, which means anointed one, or Mashiach in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, or Messiah in the English, right? That's when we say Mashiach, meaning the anointed one, or the Christ, Christos. That's not Yahawashi's last name. That was just a title given to him. All right, go ahead.
And he brought him to Yahawashi. And when Yahawashi beheld him, he said, thou art Simon, the son of Jonah, thou shalt be called Cephas, which is by interpretation a stone.
Right, because remember in Matthew 19, starting at 16, Yahawashi told Peter, thou art that rock, and upon this foundation I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Even though Yahawashi in Philippians 2, it tells you he's the chief cornerstone, but he said, under me, Peter's going to be that stone. So they knew through the Spirit, they knew who was who amongst themselves, and certain people in the Spirit that can pick up on it. They appreciated who they were because they were sent from the Most High. Right, come on.
The day following Yahawashi would go forth into Galilee, and findeth Philip, and saith unto him, follow me. Now Philip was Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter.
Right, they were from a different city than Yahawashi. They were from Bethsaida. Right, come on.
Philip findeth Nathanael, and saith unto him, we have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Yahawashi of Nazareth, the son of Joseph.
See that? Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. We found the prophesied Messiah. Moses wrote about him in Deuteronomy 18:15, of course. A prophet from amongst the brethren will rise amongst you. Moses was prophesying about Yahawashi all the way back in Deuteronomy. Right? Read on.
And Nathanael said unto him, can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, come and see.
Right. He said, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Now pull up part 1 and part 2 of the AI definition of Nazareth. He said, what good can come out of Nazareth? All right, even though they knew about the prophecy, but they had doubt because what? They were familiar with Nazareth not being the best neighborhood. So that familiarity breeded contempt. We can't appreciate nothing that come out of Nazareth. Nazareth is full of flawed people. We can't appreciate that. So they thought they understood, wait a minute, this prophesied Messiah is coming out of Nazareth? So pull up the what they said about Nazareth. Check this out. Remember, Yahawashi was born in Bethlehem, but he fled to Egypt, and then he went into Nazareth to fulfill the prophecy. Read that. Is that it? All right, read that. When you pull it up on the screen. It's going to say, I put in, was Nazareth considered the ghetto? So read that.
While not a ghetto in the modern legal sense, Nazareth was considered a despised, poor, and obscure village in first century Judea, often viewed as a ghetto or hood by contemporary standards.
See that? Yahawashi was from the hood. So he said, nothing good can come out of Nazareth. Right, go ahead.
Nathanael's famous question, can anything good come out of Nazareth, highlights its low social status, lack of importance, and reputation for being insignificant.
What does that sound like? Does that not sound like the hood today?
Khan. Bad
That's why
stop.
you got gentrification.
Con.
That sounds like the hood today, the insignificant neighborhoods. That's
Right.
why Philip said, can anything good come out of Nazareth? So the people already had contempt for Yahawashi because he was raised in Nazareth. Back then, you had uppity Negro neighborhoods back like Capernaum, like we're going to read about later. You had uppity, snooty, bougie Negro neighborhoods back then in Jerusalem. There's this dude from the hood, man, just like now. If our people come from a middle or upper class area, they look down on the hood. Not all the time. Some of them be like, I came from the hood and I made it up or whatever. Some of them don't look back. They start trying to be like Esau, but some of them be like, I come from the hood and I just made a better life. I wanted a better community for me and my children. Right, but it's letting you know. They look down on Yahawashi because he was raised in Nazareth. Right, go ahead.
Why Nazareth was considered a ghetto, low status and poverty. Nazareth was an agricultural hamlet inhabited by farmers and laborers with few, if any, luxuries, contrasting heavily with the nearby affluent city of Sepphoris.
Go ahead.
Despised reputation. It was often viewed with contempt or indifference by other, more established Jewish regions.
Oh, you're going to get the next page. So y'all see, Nazareth was the hood. What we would call the hood today. It was not the best neighborhood. You had even other affluent Jewish Israelite neighborhoods, but Nazareth was on the bottom. It was on a lower level. All right, go ahead.
Significance in Scripture. It was absent from Old Testament records and not considered a place of importance, making it an unlikely home for the Messiah.
See that? It was not considered, Nazareth wasn't considered a place of importance, so it was the unlikely place for the Messiah. How could the Savior of Israel come out of the hood? It's that
Right.
Nazareth was so insignificant, it wasn't even mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Right, go ahead.
Location. Situated in Galilee, which was already looked down upon by those in Judea.
Go ahead.
Significance of the branch. Many scholars note that Matthew 2:23 links Nazareth to the Hebrew word netzah, branch, suggesting it was ironic that the branch of David would come from a despised place.
Go ahead.
Proving ground. The obscurity of the village is often interpreted as part of the Most High's choice to use low and despised things.
All right, is more than that? Is it more than Nazareth? So, all right, hold right there. All right, I think it's one more page to Nazareth, or that's it. I know I didn't absolutely send them in order, Salakia. Go to but it used that word despise, right? Go to Isaiah 53:1 real quick. We're gonna go back to St. John. Isaiah 53:1.
Come, this is the book of Isaiah. And then go back to St. John's 1, 2. You want to stay in St. John?
Yeah, we're gonna go back to St. John.
All right.
I just want to show where it said Nazareth was a despised place. Let's see what Isaiah's prophesied about that. Read.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 1. Who hath believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Most High revealed?
Right, who's going to receive and understand the prophecy? Right, go ahead.
For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground.
Right, meaning Yahawashi will come out of a place that's not very popular. All right, that's considered low, a dry ground, like a plant growing out of a dry ground. Like you can't
Right.
plant, you can't plant nothing there. That ground is dry. Showing the Most High can take. That's just the Most High showing off his power. I can take the least and despise and bring forth the greatest. Right? Come on.
He have no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him.
Right. Yahawashi is a mean, stern-looking man. Right? Go ahead.
He is despised and rejected of men.
Go ahead.
A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not.
See that? He was despised and we esteemed him not. Because why? Nazareth was a despised place. Just like now. Our people, people stereotype you from the hood. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, some of the biggest celebrities, sports players, some of the biggest figures amongst our people, they come from the hood. Some of the most intelligent, everything. You know what I'm saying? Even with the hip hop, they can say whatever about hip hop, but hip hop started as nothing. Dudes was stealing electricity out of the light poles on the street, hooking up mixers and turntables and speakers and doing jams and parties. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar business industry, music genre. And dudes come out of the projects, dudes come out of the gutter, and they're multi-platinum selling artists now. They're lyrical genius, man. Coming from the worst, some of the worst, like my man Nas, QB. 96 project buildings on the borderline of damn Queens. I remember QB in the world. QB was no joke, man.
Right.
It was no joke out there. But what? Nas is considered one of the most lyrical geniuses. Right. The man put together his metaphors and his lyrics like he's up there with the GOATs. But he come out of what? Out of the housing projects. Out of nothing, 19. Man.
Salaki at 19 years old, he was ahead of people.
Right. 19 years old. I remember seeing him as young as like 16, 17.
Right.
Because his name was buzzing in the street even before, he got up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look at DMX, man. DMX had people crying at his concerts. And that man was from the gutter of Yonkers, robbing people with a dog. Man was sticking up people with a damn dog. And the man became one of the greatest, most respected. When I seen DMX, when he performed at one of them Woodstocks or whatever, and this man had a crowd of Edomite people going crazy over his music, I was like, damn, look at this. From the hood, from practically nothingness. The Jacksons, they grew up in Gary, Indiana, in the poor neighborhood.
Yeah,
Look at them. Michael Jackson died. People committed suicide. So the Most High show, even though that's on a carnal level, he can take from nothing, because we're the salt of the earth. That's the jewel we have. But that was the example the Most High was using through Yahawashi. I'm gonna take one of the worst considered neighborhoods in Israel. It's so bad there they don't mention it, and that's where the Messiah is gonna come out of. The area where the people were despised, that's what I'm going to bring the Messiah out of. So that familiarity bred contempt with Yahawashi. Oh, they just some poor hood, low-down people. They don't even mention the town of Nazareth. It's despised. Nothing good can come from there, because they thought they knew. They thought they knew the city and knew the type of people that would come out of there. The Most High said, no, I'm going to show you my power by letting the greatest man that ever walked the planet come from one of the most despised cities in Israel. Right? Read on.
Verse 4. Verse 4. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of the Most High, and afflicted.
Come on.
But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed.
Right, because Yahawashi died for the nation of Israel, right? Like it tell you in Revelation 1 and 5, he washed us from our sins in his own blood. So just showing you, he was despised because he came from a place that was despised. So a lot of times people think they know, or you know, ain't nobody good coming from no Nazareth. And the Lord said, look, I'm going to make you a liar and show you my son, the Mashiach, the Messiah came out of Nazareth. Go back to St. John 1. God. Go back to St. John 1 and 46.
It's the book of St. John, chapter 1, verse 46.
Good.
I was going to put it on the screen. There you go. Okay, Khan.
And let me know, is there more to the Nazareth article? Let me know if there's more to that.
Yeah, there's no more.
St. John, chapter 1, verse 46.
Oh, Salaki, there's no more to the article, right?
Yeah, there's no more to it.
All right, go ahead, King.
Khan. And Nathanael said unto him, can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip say unto him, come and see.
He said, come and see. You don't think nothing good can come out of Nazareth? Come and check this out. Go ahead.
Yahawashi saw Nathanael coming to him and saith of him, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile.
Right, because Yahawashi already knew Nathanael was going to be called. So they questioned it like, can anything come, right? Anything come out of Nazareth? Yahawashi like, look, all right, there go Nathanael, an Israelite indeed, in who there's no guile. I know this is the man that the Most High going to use. Right, come on.
Nathanael saith unto him, whence knowest thou me? Yahawashi answered and said unto him, before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee.
Good.
Nathanael answered and saith unto him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of the Most High. Thou art the King of Israel.
See that? I said, look, because they had to understand, unlike them, Yahawashi was being fed by the Spirit. The Most High was speaking through him and showing him things. Unlike the people who had a preconceived notion and thought they knew something or thought they know, oh, ain't nobody good coming out of Nazareth. Speculated, no, Yahawashi knew. He said, I already knew. I saw you under the fig tree. The Most High showed me that he was going to call you and use you as one of his disciples. Then the man would have said, thou art the Son of God, the King of Israel. God?
God. Yahawashi answered and said unto him, because I said unto thee, I saw thee under the fig tree, believest thou? Thou shalt see greater things than these.
Yahawashi said, you ain't see nothing yet.
Right.
Because I told you I saw you under the fig tree, and I saw you, I read your spirit. You ain't see nothing yet. Watch the miracles that the Most High used me to do. You're going to really see. Thou art the Son of God, the King of Israel. Right? So what? That's a case of what? The Jews require a sign. But a lot of times our people have that doubt because they think they know. They think they familiar. And to the Most High got to show them. Same thing going to happen with a lot of us. A lot of us come out of what? Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, East New York, Detroit, the south side of Chicago. All right, Inglewood, South Central Los Angeles, the west side of Atlanta, right? Southeast DC, wherever you come from. You come from some of the roughest, worst hoods, man. But what? The Lord called you into this truth, and now what? You out there confounding the world. Coming out of gangs, coming out of the street life, drugs. Right? Some brothers was about that unalive game. All that. Brothers come from all different walks of life. Grimy, gritty. Now what? You serving the Most High and doing the work. So as society judge you as just a criminal, oh, that's a bad neighborhood. Nobody good. Oh, they all criminals there. Don't even go there. Don't even mention that neighborhood. And the sons of the Most High, the servants, prophets, and teachers are coming from these areas on the earth.
Right.
Even in other countries. There's brothers, you know, they from bad parts of the UK, the hoods in the UK. And what? The Most High called them into this truth. They from the hoods of whatever country they in. The bad part of this place or that place. Certain brothers from Issachar, from damn cartel cities in Mexico. All right, but what? The Most High called them into this truth. Right? So society or people in general think they're familiar, but what you think you're familiar with, you don't appreciate, you think is flawed, the Most High can bring the kings and princes of this earth out of those areas. Right, go ahead.
And he saith unto him, verily, verily, I say unto you, hereafter ye shall see heaven open, and the angels of Yahweh ascending and descending upon the Son of Man.
Right, so it's just let you know, Nazareth was not the most greatest place that they looked upon. And who came out of there? The Messiah. So the familiarity, breeding contempt was already there because he was from Nazareth. Go to St. Matthew 13. Go to St. Matthew 13 and start at 54. St. Matthew 13. Yeah, 13:54.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 54. And when he was come into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished and said, whence hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works?
Right, when he came into his own country or amongst people from his city that knew him, yo, who is this guy? How he got this wisdom and his mighty works? Right, go ahead.
Is not this the carpenter's son?
Isn't that Joseph's son? You know what I'm saying? And I've had people say that from me that I knew growing up. Oh, you some kind of prophet now? Right, because they think they know you. And some of them do know you from your past life, but that was before you repented in Yahawashi.
Right.
They know you when you had what? Your flaws. They knew you when you was in your sin. They knew you was in your wickedness. They probably seen you. Some of them know your darkest secrets. They seen you at your lowest point of sin and evil when you was in the world. Isn't that such and such son? I know him. Well, he got that turban on his head now, like he's some kind of prophet. Why he dressed like that in some Middle Eastern gown? What's that? Who do you think he is now? Same thing with Yahawashi. Right? Read it again. 55.
Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary? And his brethren James and Joseph and Simon and Judas?
Yeah, isn't that Judas, brother? Isn't that Judah, brother? I know him. I remember him. What is he? He got all this wisdom and doing these mighty works now? Right, go ahead.
And his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then hath this man all these things?
Right, we know him, or we think we know him. Familiarity breeds contempt. Who this Negro think he is? That's Jesus from up the block. That's Joseph's son. That's Mary's son. I know his sisters. I know his whole family. We ain't talking about some prophet, some man of wisdom. Now, he got all this knowledge now. Right, go ahead.
And they were offended in him.
They were actually offended in him. And that's how a lot of our people are, man. And in general, a lot of our people are like that. Remember on the Passover, we read the story where Moses, he killed an Egyptian that was smiting a Hebrew, and then he went and told the brothers, wait a minute, y'all are brethren, why y'all fighting amongst each other? And what did they say? Who made you a judge of us? Nigger. That's the part the scriptures left out.
Right.
You a Negro just like us. You a Hebrew just like us. You're not our judge. Our people, we just feel we know each other, so I ain't gotta respect. That familiarity breeds contempt. Is on a high level with us as a nation. We figure I don't gotta respect you because you're me. Remember the movie 5 Heartbeats? He said he ain't gonna be ish because I ain't ish. And that's how people look at each other. You can't tell me ish because you're a nigga just like me. Familiarity breeds contempt. I don't respect you. I don't appreciate you because I don't respect and appreciate myself. Same
That's
concept.
crazy.
Right, read on.
God. And they were offended in him. But Yahawashi said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house.
Yeah, a lot of times the people that think they know you or closest to you, they take you for granted. They don't appreciate you. Familiarity breeds contempt. They get too comfortable with you. They get to know you too good. They get too close to you, and they don't appreciate you, and they lose respect for you. Same thing right here. They was like, man, who this cat think he is? He breaking down scriptures. He doing mighty works. And who this cat think he is? He ain't nobody. So what happened? They devalued Yahawashi because they thought they was familiar with him and his family. Right, go ahead.
And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief.
Right, he did. Now, he didn't do a lot of ways. It's like, man, y'all don't believe. The hell with y'all. I'm shaking the dust. I'm not showing y'all nothing. I'm not healing people here. Y'all don't believe, I'm out of here. I'm going to go where my works are appreciated. And sometimes you got to do that, unfortunately. Sometimes, not all cases, but sometimes strangers look out for you better than your own people. People you barely know. Because they're, huh?
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Right.
I'm being nice. Gabar Ash brought it on home. Most of the time. I've witnessed that. I've had that. I've been to cities where Hebrews I know for years and Hebrews I barely knew. The treatment was totally different. I've been to cities where Hebrews I barely, oh, Elder Zabach, you coming here? Yo, man, don't worry about nothing when you come here. And I didn't even take advantage of it none. I'm like, nah, I'm good. No. Yo, you need to ride somewhere? You need anything? Yo, you ain't doing nothing while you in my city. The Hebrews I knew for years barely called me and checked on me. Didn't even see them when I was in a city. Oh, yeah, I heard you was here, Elder. I saw that, but, no call, no show, no. Oh, Elder, you in town? Let me holler at you. Complete strangers or people that I might know a little bit online, they were more appreciative. A lot of times it's like that, man, because the more you get to know or somebody think they know you, they take you for granted. They don't appreciate you. Right? And that goes on many levels. Right? Go ahead.
That's it on that.
Oh, yeah, he said, and he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. Yeah. Right? I was like, the hell with y'all, man. I'm going to go where I'm appreciated. I'm going to go where this work is valued. Okay?
God.
Go to get the other account of that. That same account, but it's in Mark. It gives a little bit more detail. Mark 6:1. Go to St. Mark 6:1. So yeah, don't get caught up in that spirit. The more you know somebody, the more you should appreciate them.
That's right.
Right? Flaws or not, man. People are going to have flaws. People are going to have weaknesses. But like I tell you, when one of the dynamics with familiarity breeding contempt one of the dynamics is sometimes people look for things to have contempt with you for because they got an agenda. They looking to see you slip. They looking for your flaw. They're going to point out anything wrong that you do because they're looking for stuff. They're trying to find something to have on you. That's another level of familiarity breeding contempt. People want to know more about you so they can have more flaws and dirt on you. And anything you do wrong, they might have a damn list. They're going to keep a damn list. Anything, any slip up you do, any little thing you do, they're going to record it and they're going to use it against you because they want to have that contempt for you because of jealousy, envy, competition.
Yeah.
It just don't like you, want to move you out of the way. Oh man, I'll have to do a whole nother lesson of just my personal experiences in the truth and in the world with our people. Because we shady and shysty with each other, man. Dudes want to get you out of the way, so they're going to scheme and plot, and anything they can get on you, any flaw that they can use against you, any weakness, any sin, any shortcoming, they're going to use it against you. Some people purposely look to have contempt against you. They purposely want to know all they can know about you to get things on you. Okay?
Gone.
Right? So St. Mark 6:1. They picking up in the spirit. Your ass is looking for something. I see right through. You're looking to have something. You know what I'm saying? And you got to watch that spirit. And we can't have that spirit. Like I said, the more familiar we are with each other, we should learn to love and appreciate each other more. The fact that we know that we can know each other is a blessing. I'm going to look at a weakness a brother got or a flaw or whatever, and I'm going to lose respect for him. No, I'm going to say, hey, the brother got to work on that. Or that's just something, that's just something, hey, he's a little weak in that area. That's just how many men might say, hey, my wife ain't the best cook, but I love her anyway? You know what I'm saying? Well, Israelite woman better know how to cook, but you know what I'm saying? You learn, it's a whole nother level of love when you learn to appreciate and love each other and people in spite of their flaws. You don't look to use their flaws and weaknesses and sins and shortcomings against them. That's a wicked nigga or a negress. They're looking to use things against you instead of saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to help them get better in that area. I'm going to pray they get better in that area. That's something they need to work on. Or they may not fully get that right one day. I'm going to love them anyway for the person that they are because they got other good attributes about them. That's a whole nother level of love and patience with each other. So read that, St. Mark 6:1.
It's the book of Mark, chapter 6, verse 1. And he went out from thence and came into his own country, and his disciples follow him.
He said, let me go back to the hood and see what these Negroes up to. Let me go try to teach them and heal them and give them the gospel. Go ahead.
And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many hearing him were astonished, saying, from whence hath this man these things? And what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands?
Right, because the Jews require a sign. So not only was Yahawashi showing the wisdom, he was showing the mighty works and the healing. Again, this is the same account like Matthew 13, but it's from Mark's account. Who is this guy? How did he get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and power to do these? We know this dude. We know his family. We know him. Right, go ahead.
Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph, and of Judah and Simon?
Right now here, it calls Yahawashi the carpenter because naturally he learned the trade from his father. Right, go ahead.
And are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him.
Right, we know this guy. He can't be. And a lot of times with the dynamic of familiarity breeding contempt, people get mad because they know you or because y'all came up. That's why a lot of times when there's a homicide, the first people that are investigated are the people that's close to the person. Because a lot of times, what? The familiarity breeds contempt. It builds up, the jealousy builds up, the envy. And a lot of times, even like these success stories, a lot of times the people that betray the successful people are people that was close to them, they grew up with,
Right.
or the people around them. Because what? They get mad because they figure we come from the same place. How come I don't have what you have? How come I ain't make it like you? I should have what you. We come from the same place. The familiarity. We're the same. Wait a minute. How come I'm not? But what happens is, what the Most High have for that person, he may not have for you. Whatever your gifts and talents are, what concentrate on what the Most High want to give you. Most High, he give to who he give accordingly. Some people got a better work ethic than you. You might have neglected the gift you had, or you was lazy or slothful, or you didn't hustle hard enough, or whatever the case may be. Or you're blessed in another way, but you're so busy looking at the other person's blessings because what? Familiarity. I know him. I know her. We came up together. Who the hell he think he is? Who the hell she thinks she is? She come from where I come from. That's another level of that familiarity breeding contempt. Read on.
Verse 4. But Yahawashi said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country and among his own kin and in his own house.
And in his own house. And like Gabar I brought out earlier, majority of the time, it be the people that you think supposed to be the closest to you. And a lot of times it be the strangers that don't be on nothing. And it be the people closest to you that'll stab you in the back, or the people that think they know you, or the people that came up with you, or whatever the case may be. Me and Tara could tell y'all about that. Being younger men coming up from One West, you know, when we start getting older and start running camp and doing the work and bringing in fruit and things of that nature, we got shade from some of our older brothers in One West. I'll tell y'all a quick story. We was teaching on 34th Street one night, on Friday night, and on 34th Street. Sister came up with her daughter, and she was just listening to the camp. She was listening. I came down from speaking. She pulled me to the side. She said, "Hey, brother, shalom. How you doing? I just want to come over and introduce myself. Me and my daughter, we're kind of new to the truth." She said, "We came all the way up from Baltimore, Maryland, but they was dealing with Comfy in them school. But she said, we just happened to be in the city and we saw brothers teaching." And she didn't really understand about the different camps and all that. So I just talked to the sister, and nice looking sister. I'm saying that for a reason. Not that it's all about looks, but I'm saying that for a reason. Nice looking sister. Her daughter was a young, pretty girl. She had the jeans on, so the little tight jeans. Y'all already know. So y'all know where I'm going. There's a reason why I'm pointing that out. So I talked to the sister. We had a good conversation. I said, "Hey, sis, I think I gave the sister a flyer or whatever." And that was it. Didn't try to get with her, nothing like that. Whatever. So about a week or two later, we got into a big incident with this guy by the name of Haragaja. He was from Comfy in them school. He came down drunk to the camp and tried to confront us. He parked his Mercedes-Benz. He was drunk. Parked his Mercedes-Benz in the middle of the street on 45th and Broadway, in the middle of Broadway, and got out the car drunk and confronted us. And one of the things he said to me, he said, "I know you. I remember you. You was nobody in the school. You was a young trooper in the school. Now you think you somebody out here teaching? I know." And that was because the sister had went back to him and told him, "I met a brother by the name of Zabach, whatever, last night teaching. Brothers, they was teaching," and whatever. I guess she told him the experience. He got jealous and mad because I guess she was probably speaking highly of us in the camp. Because her and her daughter stood out there for a while listening. And she's just a sister. She kind of don't understand about the splits and all that. But she was there to visit them, but she just happened to run into our camp. And she went back and told him. And I guess she described me, because he mentioned her. He mentioned an incident when he was drunk and belligerent. I forgot exactly what he said. But to him, you was a little young trooper when you came into school. I remember you. You was a nobody. Now you think you running camp. And all that was partly because the sister went and spoke highly of me in a camp. She's a nice looking sister, and he started hating. But I wasn't in competition for the sister, nothing like that. I just taught her. And I think she mentioned she was there to visit the school. I said nothing negative about them or whatever. I just said, hey, we're a different camp. We're a different camp. We teach, but sis, continue to learn, whatever. It was, but him thinking he know me as a young man in the school from 1 West, his spirit's like, who the hell you think you are now? You know what I'm saying? So it's the same kind of spirit. But I wasn't tripping on the sister. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I think I seen him. Later on I seen him with the sister, like later on that summer or something, because I remember how she looked, and she was with him in the car. He probably was trying to get with her, and whatever she went back and said about me, he got jealous. So he got drunk and came down and confronted the camp. And brothers was going to wash him, but I stopped him. Brothers was going to wash him, and some Jakes, some gangster Jakes from Kansas City. They was from Kansas. They was going to take his Benz, because he left the Benz in the middle of the street with the key in it. They was going to take his car. And I stopped them brothers, and I stopped the brothers from, I said, he's drunk. He's out of his mind. Leave the brother alone. They hemmed him up and got him up out of there. And I told the brothers, nah, don't wash him. Because they was going to rock him. Brothers going to rock him. He a big dude, but brothers going to rock him out. But my point being, he thought he was familiar with me. So that familiarity breeded his contempt. Like, nigga, who are you? You was a young trooper in 1 West. Now you out here with your own camp thinking you doing something, and you got my chick that's trying to join my school that I'm trying to get with, and she's speaking highly of you. That's how people are, man, even in the truth. So that's a little story of familiarity breeding contempt. And Tarai told me many stories of brothers he ran into from 1 West, and brothers talking slick and saying little disrespectful, condescending stuff, almost like who you and Zabach think y'all are now, running this House of Israel camp. So that's another form of familiarity breeding contempt. I remember when y'all was young shorties. Now y'all think y'all running, y'all getting up there. What, we supposed to stay 25 forever? Eventually we're going to be 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. At 50, you reach your eldership. So if you ain't doing nothing for the work and having some kind of influence on something, then what the hell you been doing the last 30 years? So eventually you got to elevate and grow. You can't stay, I can't stay a young trooper in Israel in 1 West forever. But there was a lot of shade from brothers because they felt like we knew y'all when y'all was shorties. Now y'all elder men now, doing the work and guiding Israel. So the hate, the familiarity with breeds contempt comes from that also. So read on.
God. Verse 5. And he could there do no mighty work, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk and healed them.
Good.
And he marveled because of their unbelief, and he went round about the villages teaching.
See that? So that's just a reiteration of the same story in St. Matthew 13. Go from there to St. John 7. Go to St. John 7, start at 1.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 7, verse 1. Book of St. John, chapter 7, verse 1.
Good.
After these things, Yahawashi walked in Galilee, for he would not walk in Jewry, because the Jews sought to kill him.
Yeah, see that? And That familiarity bred contempt because what? Now Yahawashi was starting to be known. He was starting to get known. So they sought to kill him. Right? Hold that. Go to St. John 11. Uh, 11:47.
It's the book of St. John, chapter 11, verse 47.
Now they want to kill Yahawashi because his familiarity is starting to breed contempt with the Jews and the leadership. And he was becoming a threat to the status quo. Right? Go ahead.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
They said, what we going to do? This man doeth many miracles. Go ahead.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
Right.
And
if we let him thus alone, all men, meaning many men, a large multitude, many people are going to start to believe on him.
Right.
Right. The more familiar and known he was getting, it was breeding contempt. Okay. Right. Go ahead.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Right. If we allow the people to get too familiar with this dude, we're going to lose our position. So they started to hate Yahawashi because he was starting to become familiar with the people, starting to become familiar with him and his works. Okay?
God.
Right. That's it on that. Go back to St. John 7 and 2.
St. John chapter 7, verse 2. Now the Jews' feast of tabernacles was at hand. His brethren therefore said unto him, depart hence and go into Judea, that thy disciples also may see the works that thou doest.
Good.
For there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh to be known openly. If thou do these things, show thyself to the world.
Yeah, see that said his brethren. So, that could be like his physical brethren or even, just the people amongst him that know him, his people. But they like, go. If you see, they was more coming with a vain idea of go out there and get the fame and popularity that you claim you came for. If you're supposed to be this son of God, because what? They was doubting him. Man, we know you claiming you this son of God. We know you, man. All right, go out there and show yourself openly, man. If you're supposed to be this man you claim to be. Right, go ahead.
For neither did his brethren believe in him.
They didn't believe in him because they thought they knew him. You ain't no son of God to do no. Who are you? They didn't believe him. Because what? They thought they knew him. That familiarity bred contempt. Right, go ahead.
Then Yahawashi said unto them, my time is not yet come, but your time is always ready.
He said, look, man, I'm on the Most High's time. Your time is always ready in this kingdom, but I'm on a different time. I'm on the Most High's time. Right? Come on.
The world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it that the works thereof are evil.
Right. Yahawashi said the world can't hate you, but it hates me because I testify of it that it's evil. A lot of times, even when we out there, the people hate the spirit of Yahawashi that's in us. That's what they hate. These Israelites, they get on my nerves. Familiarity breeds contempt with the people. And them guys that stand on the corner just yelling. Yeah, they've been out there. I've been seeing them for years. Get on my nerves. I can't stand them guys. Oh my, they're teaching all that hatred. They dress up like food. They look like Power Rangers. People are familiar with Israel, and that breeds contempt amongst them. They get tired of seeing us. Right? Or they take us for granted. Oh, them guys always out there talking about the end of the world. They've been saying that for 30 years. I've been seeing them guys for 30 years. I know about them. Right, good.
Go ye up unto this feast. I go not up yet unto this feast, for my time is not yet full come.
Good.
When he had said these words unto them, he abode still in Galilee. But when his brethren were gone up, then went he also up unto the feast, not openly, but as it were in secret. Then the Jews sought him at the feast and said, Where is he? And there was much murmuring among the people concerning him. For some said, He is a good man. Others said, Nay, but he deceiveth the people.
Right, like Paul spoke about in Corinthians, of good report and of evil report. Good.
Howbeit no man spake openly of him for fear of the Jews.
Good.
Now about the midst of the feast, Yahawashi went up into the temple and taught. And the Jews marveled, saying, How knoweth this man letters, having never learned?
Right. How knoweth this man letters or learning or wisdom, having never learned? Meaning, he didn't go to one of the fancy school of the prophets. He didn't sit under the feet of anybody and was really taught by them except for, Joseph and Mary. So who is this man from Nazareth, no man's land? How he know letters, meaning learning or wisdom, having never learned? We don't know. Where's his credentials? Like people say to us, do you have a degree in biblical studies? What theology school did you go to? Did you get your doctorate of divinity? No, I got my divine knowledge from the Most High Power Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahawashi.
God.
I didn't either go to none of your theologian schools or your Bible colleges. I didn't need that. I got the spirit, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from the Most High Power of Israel. Read on.
Yahawashi answered them and said, My doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me.
So he cut him. He said, look, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. I didn't get this from no man. I got taught by the Spirit of the Most High. So again, how does this man know anything? Is not this the carpenter's son? Don't we know him from Nazareth? Don't we know him from no man's land, from the ghetto, the hood? How the hell he got all this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding?
Right.
Because that familiarity bred contempt. Go from there to Luke 4:16. Go to Luke chapter 4 and verse 16.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 16.
They're going to put it up.
God.
Luke chapter 4, verse 16.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 16. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
Go ahead.
And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He have sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised.
Go ahead.
To preach the acceptable year of the Most High.
Go ahead.
And he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him.
Go ahead.
And he began to say unto them, This day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears.
Right. He said, listen, this day, this scripture is fulfilled, because Isaiah was talking about me. He said, this prophecy that Isaiah is speaking right here was talking about me. Go ahead.
And all bear him witness, and wondered at the gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, Is not this Joseph's son?
There they go again. We know this guy. Is not this Joseph's son? Isn't that Joseph's son? And where is he? He's back in his homeland, Nazareth. He said, isn't that Joseph's son? Right, go ahead.
And he said unto them, ye will surely say unto me this proverb, Physician, heal thyself. Whatsoever we have heard done in Capernaum, do also here in thy country.
Good.
And he said, Verily, I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country.
Is what?
But no prophet is accepted in his own country.
Right? It says, see, the great works I did in Capernaum do here also. But what? No prophet is accepted in his own country. Meaning what? The people that think they know you. Because familiarity breeds contempt. They don't respect you or they take you for granted because they think they know you. Right? Come on.
But I tell you of a truth, many widows were in Israel in the days of Elias, when the heaven was shut up 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout all the land. But unto none of them was Elias sent, save unto Sarepta, a city of Sidon, unto a woman that was a widow.
Good.
And many lepers were in Israel in the time of Eliseus, the prophet, and none of them were cleansed, saving Naaman the Syrian.
Good.
And all they in the synagogue, when they heard these things, were filled with wrath.
Right. So he was letting them know, listen, a lot of times amongst your own people, they don't have faith, they don't believe you, they doubt. You can go amongst other non-believers or strangers or even heathen sometimes, and they will have more faith and belief than your own people or those that are close to you or those that think they're familiar with you. That was the lesson that Yahawashi was giving them. Good.
And rose up and thrust him out of the city and led him unto the brow of the hill, the brow of the hill, whereon their city was built, that they might cast him down headlong.
Right. So Yahawashi, he cut him so bad they was going to kill him. They was going to throw Yahawashi off a cliff. This is the Son of the Most High. Even though they eventually crucified him, but here in his home city, this is amongst his own one to kill him, because he tried to come and give them the gospel. They didn't believe him, and he cut him and said, damn it, when you go to a stranger Israelite or even another nation, a lot of times they'll have more faith than your own people, than your people that's supposed to be closest to you, the people you trying to reach. They said, what you say, Negro? We'll throw you off this cliff. That's your people. That's our people, man.
Elder, that's why you can't go back. That's why you can't go back to the hood after you make it.
That's why you can't go back to the hood after. Excellent. Perfect example. You can't go. Judge Mathis said that. Judge Mathis said he tried to go back to the hood and show love. He went back and tried to hang on the block. And he said they pistol whipped him, robbed him, and said, F you, nigger. You ain't from here no more. Get out of here. Don't come back. And Judge Mathis said he could have retaliated, but he was like, I'm not going to throw my career away. He said he just learned a lesson. He said when he did go back, he had security, and he did eventually go back to Detroit. He opened up centers and all kinds of stuff. He said he got that he do back in the city, but he said when I go back there, I'll proceed with caution. But he said when he first kind of made it and went back around the way, they pistol whipped him, robbed him, and told him, nigga, you not from here no more. Get out of here.
Right.
See that? Because that familiarity bred contempt. Who the hell you think you are to make it out of here and I'm still stuck here and you got the nerve to come back and flaunt your riches? Instead of saying, yo, Judge, you man, they were supposed to celebrate, have a ticker tape parade and everything. Yo, one of our own men, he came back to show love. Yo, Judge, how can you put us on? Matter of fact, we ain't looking for a handout. What can we set up in the hood where we can make money in business and earn our money? You ain't got to give us a handout.
Right.
But what the Judge Mathis said, they beat him, robbed him, pistol whipped him, and told him, and he like, I come from that. I could have retired because These are guys I knew. I could have came back at him, but he was like, I'm not going to catch 2-3 bodies and then my whole career is done. So he said he just let it slide. But he said he actually came back to show love, and they surrounded him, pistol whipped him, and robbed him. That's crazy.
Gone.
A lot of these rappers, what happened? They got killed going back to their own hood.
Yep.
Young Dolph, Dolph in Memphis.
Yeah.
Nipsey Hussle, and even though he's allegedly a Hamite, but Nipsey Hussle, he went on the block he grew up on and did business on. What's the other one? Gilly's son. Young Cheese.
Right.
Or something like that. Young Cheese was around, he was around the way in Philly. And they killed him. I think they took his chain or tried to rob him for his chain, something like that. These guys go back and get dealt with, and it's very rare they go back to their own hood and get love. You know, MC8, MC8 said, "Yo, man, when I went back around the way, I used to be strapped up."
Gone.
He said, he said, every time I went, he said, sometimes he had 2 guns on him. He's like, I went around, he said, yo, nobody never really tried me. Nobody never really tried me or nothing like that. But he used to be like, yo, I used to be gripped up when I went back around the way. And dudes knew I was not playing. If you're going to come at me, you have to take me up out of here. Right? So read on.
What verse was we in? Verse 30. But he, passing through the midst of them, went his way.
Right, he escaped. He went through the crowd and escaped. Go ahead.
And came down to Capernaum, a city of Galilee, and taught them on the Sabbath days. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for his word was with power.
Right, and they were astonished at his doctrine because his word was with power. So they could see the power on Yahawashi. They could see the wisdom, but what happened? They envied him and was mad and upset and jealous because they thought they knew him. How dare you, somebody we know, somebody we grew up with? How are you some son of God now? All right, so go from there to go to Luke 19. Go to St. Luke 19 now. St. Luke 19. This is the parable of the talents, or the minas in the Greek. They call it the parable of the minas. Luke 19 and start at 14. We're not going to read the whole parable, but y'all can read it on your own to get the understanding. This is the parable of the talents. Yahawashi, this is also in Matthew. Luke 19, start at 12.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come.
Good.
But his citizens hated him and
so
sent
read again from 12.
Verse 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come.
So basically, this is a parable. What Yahawashi is saying is, once he was crucified and went to the spirit world, the job was given to the disciples, teachers, and prophets and servants to preach and teach the kingdom of heaven back then and in this latter time. All right. So you were given your different talents. Whatever talent you was given, you're supposed to use it for this truth, to get this gospel out, to build this work. and to occupy till Yahawashi come. And that's important, because you're not supposed to be an idle servant. You're supposed to occupy till Yahawashi come. You're supposed to be using the gifts, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, the gifts of your hands, the spiritual, mental gifts, whatever, to help build this work in this nation till Yahawashi return. There's no retirement plan. There's no, you know, sometimes you fall back, you take it a little easy. All right, you balance your schedule out. You got work, you got family, you got responsibilities, you got little health issues going on, so you balance it out, but you never get idle. You never get completely idle. You keep doing the work in some capacity. Yo, I can't make it to camp today. I'm going to do a sit-down video. I'm going to do a lesson. I'm going to do a quick lesson. I'm going to do some current events. I'm going to do some studying. I'm going to put this flyer document together, whatever. I'm going to start preparing for this feast day. You always abounding in the work of the Lord till Yahawashi come. Occupy till Yahawashi come. Kind?
God.
All right, read on.
But his citizens hated him.
His own
And sent it.
people hated him. All right, it says his citizens hated him, because the nobleman represents Yahawashi. The servants represent, you know, the disciples, teachers, the men of the Lord, the brothers in the last days now. But the citizens hated him, his own people.
All right.
Our own people. They take us for granted. They don't respect us, because that familiarity breeds contempt. Right? Read on.
But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us.
See that? We will not have this man to reign over us. He's not ruling over us. And that's how people are. Our own people, right? Jump down to 27. Y'all can read the rest on your own. I'm just getting to the main point.
Verse 27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
He says, see that? Bring hither and slay them before me. Hey, and all this for they want to kill Yahawashi, right?
Right.
Did we just read where they took him to the hill and was going to throw him over?
Head first, right, Khan.
They was going to throw Yahawashi over head first. So Yahawashi said, hey, y'all want to kill me. Matter of fact, y'all did kill me. The Jews betrayed Yahawashi to the Romans and had him put to death. So rightfully so. And that's what real quick, link that up. Go to what is that? 1 Thessalonians, I believe it is. Check this out. 1 Thessalonians. And we just jumped right to Yahawashi. We got the whole Old Testament with the prophets. The people hated the prophets. Maybe we get a few examples of that too. They hated the prophets in the Old Testament. I just got right into Yahawashi because, of course, he's the main figure. Just showing you the different examples of they hated him because they was familiar with him or thought they was familiar with him. Right? 1 Thessalonians 2, start at 14. Check this out. We went right to Yahawashi, but it was the prophets and the men before him. Right? They wanted to kill him, and eventually they did betray him to be killed. And eventually many of the disciples was put to death. It tells you the different, I got a video where it shows you, it goes into detail. It goes into detail about how all the disciples were martyred. All right, so read that. 1 Thessalonians 2:14.
1 Thessalonians.
Start at 13.
1 Thessalonians 13. 13.
Matter of fact, start at 4. 1 Thessalonians 2 and 4.
God. It's the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 4. But as we were allowed of the Most High to be put in trust with the gospel, even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but the Most High, which trieth our hearts.
Yeah, see that? We were put in trust with the gospel, not to please men, but to please the Most High. So we can't really give a damn what our people feel or think. Oh, that's just, they just a Negro like me. Didn't a lot of y'all come out? I always use this example. Didn't a lot of y'all go to jail? Didn't a lot of y'all come from jail and you joined that religion because you came out of jail? Stereotypes, familiarity. So they think you just a Negro like me. Who are you? Some self-proclaimed prophet of God. But we don't give a damn if that's how you think. We are called and we know in our spirit and mind that the Most High showed us that we are to preach this gospel. Give a damn if you Negroes believe or not. Right, go ahead.
For neither at any time used we flattering words, as ye know, nor a cloak of covetousness, the Most High is witness.
Right, meaning we don't have a hidden agenda teaching this gospel. All right, we didn't use flattering words. Right, we're not trying to flatter nobody to be in this truth. We're gonna give you the hardcore, raw truth of what the Most High said. We're not the like the pastors. We're not using a cloak of covetousness, using this word to get paid. And it don't work like that, because when you check it out, when you teach this gospel in sincerity and truth, whether the people support or not, you're gonna do the work. We don't get $500 every time we do a class, $1,000 every time we go to camp. We get $1,500. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a cloak of covetousness, meaning whether the people respect us or not, we're going to do this work in sincerity and truth. We don't give a damn if familiarity breeds contempt among y'all. I don't like them Israelites. I've been seeing them for years. They've been out there for years saying the same thing, talking about the white man. They teach hatred. They don't like women. We don't give a damn about none of that, because we know we're teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. So y'all contempt is not going to stop us from sincerely doing the work. Right? Read on.
For neither at any time use we flattering words, as ye know, nor a cloak of covetousness, the Most High is witness.
The Most High is our witness. That's why I always say what? If it's not the right intention, the Most High going to shut it down, because the Most High knows the heart. He knows the mind. Right? Read on.
Nor of men sought we glory.
Right, we're not really looking for glory amongst men, because the glory going to come in Yahawashi anyway. The Most High said, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. All right, so it's not about vainglory of men, YouTube views, whatever. Yeah, we use the social media and the technology to get this word out on a higher level. Yeah, you might do certain editing and film, and you get those certain moments, because Israel, they love drama and excitement. That might be something that can draw them in. So you utilize it in righteousness, but it's not really all about that. Right, go ahead.
Nor of men sought we glory, neither of you, nor yet of others, when we might have been burdensome as the apostles of Hamashiach, Yahawashi.
Right, and this is a burden we got to carry, man. All right, so we do this in sincerity and truth, and we carry this burden, and part of the burden is getting contempt from your own people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they think they know you. You just a Negro like me. You ain't no prophet of God. I saw you eating the other day. That's another thing, man. Yeah, they said that about Yahawashi. So you're a man of the Lord. You're not supposed to eat. You're not supposed to drink. You're not supposed to do regular human things. That's another thing. People damn near look at us like stars and celebrities, or some kind of robot, or magical heavenly figure. A lot of times people, when they just see you do regular things, they lose respect. Oh, he's just a man just like me. They too simple to understand that you're a human being.
Right.
When I saw the elder, one of the elders, Ariyah, one of the top elders from One West. He was right under Marshall, Elder Ariyah. I remember one of the first times I saw him was in a school right? I think I saw him on videos and stuff, but I saw him in a school. So like, I was happy. I was like, oh, there go the elder brother. You know what I'm saying? Brothers, you know, One West, they used to do the most with the garments back then. They had the big leather fringes, the studs. They used to just do the most. Brother was looking like an elder roy. He was looking like an elder angel up there. Royal. Respect. Oh, that's the brother. Then I got into the school for a couple of months. One day I saw him just walking down the street. He was just walking down the street. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, oh, there go the elder. You know, I didn't really get starstruck or nothing. It was like happy to see him. But I looked at it as he's a man just walking down the street. I didn't look at it no other way. This man's supposed to be riding over me in a chariot. He's supposed to pull up on me in a Maybach. He's supposed to get out of a limo and somebody roll the red car, because that's the people be thinking sometimes you're supposed to be celebrity status. You're a human being. And what happens a lot of times when people see you're a regular person, they lose respect. I'm like I said, I can do a whole class with just my personal experiences in this truth. They lose respect for you. And I came to find out that Elder Ariah found out some years later that he didn't drive, right? Because when I came back to I was working on an oil table for One West at the time, and I went back and told the brothers, I was like, yo, I saw the elder today. Yo, he walked by my oil table and he gave me £1. And he said, hey, young brother, you all right out here? I was like, oh, man, I was happy to see the elder. But I just said, hey, he was just walking. They was like, well, you saw him. I said he was walking down 86. I was on 86 between 3rd and Lex. If anybody know about, you know, that's a shopping area over there for years. So that's why I used to set up my oil table to sell my oils when I worked for the school. So I went back and told my generals and stuff in the oil department, like, yo, I saw the elder today. I was kind of excited. They was like, yeah, they said, well, you saw him. I said, he was on 86th Street. Walking, he was decked out in his garments. He had a nice long leather on with the fringes coming down. But he was just walking down the street like a regular, because he's a man, right? So, and I appreciated seeing him like that. I didn't judge him that he wasn't getting out of a damn $500,000 Bentley, or he didn't pull up in a limo with paparazzi around him, or he didn't fly over me in a gold chariot. He was a regular man. And I didn't lose respect for him for that. He's just a regular man walking down the street. I actually like seeing him in a regular mode like that. So the brothers was like, well, you saw him? I said he was walking down 86. And they was like, yeah, they was like, that's Elder Ariah. He always walking. They say he's always walking. If he go anywhere, somebody's driving him. And I found out he had like an accident or something with a bike or something. He was like, I'm not driving. I'm not riding a motorcycle. I'm not doing that ever again. So he used to have a Manessa brother that would drive him around when he needed to go places. But a lot of times you would see him, he would be walking, getting out of a cab, getting on the train, getting on the bus, just a regular elder man. You know, and I didn't lose respect for him because of that. Oh, for him to be my elder, he got to be getting out of a 500 series or whatever, 700 series, I don't know. So sometimes people lose respect for you because they see you're a common person, or because you don't have a certain level of status, because this Western civilization teaches us that. You got to have a certain level of status. Now, the scriptures do talk about a man of understanding that's not set by, meaning an elder or a man of wisdom that's not taken good care of. But I was able to understand, look, that doesn't make a man. That doesn't make him less of my elder or more of my elder. I liked seeing that he was just walking down the street like a regular man. He didn't have 20 security guards around him. And you ain't want to mess with that man anyway by himself. The angels will chop your ass in half. But I appreciated seeing my elder as a regular man. I did not judge him. I didn't take away from him. It didn't make him any less of a man to me or an elder. I still had the respect. But when some people get to know you in a common sense, that familiarity breeds contempt. They lose respect, or they take you for granted, right? Because they don't see a certain status, because of the Western civilization has trained our people the way to think to a certain level, especially when you're in a position of leadership. So that's something we got to work on, because that's that Western mind frame. That's why Yahawashi said, what came he out to see? A reed shaking with the wind? All right, like, you know what I'm saying? Yahawashi was a common man. He sat down with the publicans and the sinners. He ate and drank. They called him a gluttonous man and a wine bibber. Meaning they say he was greedy and he was a drunk. That's what that translates to. A wine bibber, meaning he was drunk and he was a gluttonous man. He was greedy and he was a drunk. Just because Yahawashi sat down and ate food and drank wine. You see that? The people get too familiar with you, they start disrespecting you. Because they see you do common things as a man. He drank wine and he ate food. Oh, now he's greedy and he's an alcoholic. Right? So read on. Right? Israel is a trip.
Yeah, verse 7. But we were gentle among you, even as a nurse cherisheth her children.
Jump down to 13.
Verse 13. For this cause also thank we the Most High without ceasing. Because when ye received the word of the Most High, which ye heard of us, ye received it not as the word of men, but as it is in truth, the word of the Most High, which effectually worketh also in you that believe.
Right, so we got to understand this is the word of the Most High, man. That's how we got to receive this word. So we can't care what our people think, who don't like us. They too familiar with us, so they got contempt. We don't care. We're going to teach and do thus saith the Lord, whether you like it, understand it, accept it, believe it or not. Right, go ahead.
For ye, brethren, became followers of the churches of the Most High, which in Judea are in Christ Yahawashi. For ye also have suffered like things of your own countrymen, even as they have of the Jews.
Right, you have suffered from your own countrymen. You have suffered like things of your own countrymen, even as they have of the Jews. Go ahead.
Who both killed the Lord Yahawashi and their own prophets.
What did the Jews do?
Who both killed the Lord Yahawashi and their own prophets.
He said they both killed the Lord Yahawashi and their own prophets. So that's why Yahawashi said in Luke 19:14, those mine enemies that would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. There's going to be retribution because y'all killed the Yahawashi and your own prophets. Right, go ahead.
And have persecuted us. And they please not the Most High and are contrary to all men.
Right, they please not the Most High and they're contrary to all men. See that? So he said your own countrymen and your own people of your nation killed Yahawashi and the prophets. So the feeling is going to be mutual. Yahawashi said, those my citizens that hated me and would not that I should reign over them, slay them before me. So when he make his second coming, a lot of these Negroes going to die.
Gone.
Because they hate him, they hate the prophets. They don't want to do this work. They don't want to come back to this truth. You know, they hate when we go out there and teach them. Right? Give me the classic real quick. Give me Amos 5 and 10. Get the classic real quick. So yeah, a lot of our people, they're gonna be destroyed.
Right.
You know how you want to throw your Yahawashi off a cliff, man. Head first.
Right.
Wicked, man. Just because they had familiarity and they breeded contempt.
Khan, this is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
And they hate the prophets, man. They hate the prophets. You know why? Because they're familiar with the prophets rebuking their sin and their evil. So it breeds that contempt. Because they know, the prophets are known. They're going to rebuke your sin and your evil and your wickedness. They know in their spirit, whether they rebel or not. But it breeds that contempt. They take us for granted. They start not liking us. They start hate because the word keeps going out. They keep seeing us, keep seeing us. We on YouTube. We doing the videos. We on the street corners. We walking down the street with our fringes on. It's nagging them. They seeing us out there teaching. Okay?
God.
Go to let's get a couple of more examples of that. We're gonna get back to Yahawashi. A couple of more examples with Yahawashi. But let's get a few examples with the prophets. Give me Ezekiel 12. Give me Ezekiel 12:21. They get frustrated because that familiarity breeds contempt. I'm tired of seeing these Israelites. But damn right, we're gonna be there. By Shema Mashiach Yahawashi.
Shema Mashiach Yahawashi. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12, verse 21. And the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth?
Right, what is that proverb that we have in the land of Israel amongst our people? And even east on the other nations. All right, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth. A lot of times, the more our people see us, they get frustrated because they like, y'all been saying that for years. When is it gonna happen? They familiar with what they familiar with this world going to end, this kingdom gonna be destroyed. They familiar with that. But when is it gonna happen? Right, go ahead.
Tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel.
Meaning the Most High's words are going to start coming to pass. You're going to see the prophecies accelerate. The prophecy is going to start accelerating. Right, go ahead.
For I am the Lord. I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, saith the Lord, the Most High.
Right, the Lord said, look, it's going to come a time where, and we see that on a small level. Y'all ever look at the camps or whatever, and I mean, not to brag or boast, but this happens a lot with HOI. We'll say something and it'll manifest right there in front of us at the camp.
God.
Y'all see how many times that happened?
God.
And like I said, I'm not for nothing, but I mainly see that with us. And I watch other camps and stuff sometimes. A lot of times, the other camps, they're just battling back and forth with the person. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to boast. It's just HOI. And spiritual things happen, but I witnessed it time and time again. Me and Allah alone, we can tell like 100 stories of just me and him being out there. And we'll say something and it will manifest.
Plenty
so
time.
The Lord is, and that's on a lower level. The Most High saying, listen, it's going to come a time where my servant's going to speak and it's going to happen right on the spot. For all you non-believers, for all you familiarity breeds contempt people that take what happened, one of the attributes of familiarity breeding contempt is not appreciating and taking things and people for granted. So they take us for granted. Them guys been saying that forever, the world going, and they've been out there for years. I've been seeing them for 30 years now. They've been saying that same stuff. Oh, yeah, I know about the Israelites. Yeah, they teach y'all the world going in and all that. Right, go ahead.
Again, the word of the Most High came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off.
Meaning a lot of our people, they don't think it's going to happen in their lifetime. All right, because they've been hearing it so long, and to them, nothing has happened. Right, come on.
Therefore say unto them, Thus saith the Lord the Most High, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord the Most High.
I'm going to make you a believer. You're not going to take this word for granted anymore. I'm going to make you a believer. Go from there. Go to Ezekiel 33
and 30 now.
Ezekiel 33 and 30.
God.
Just getting a few examples in the prophets of how our people, they're familiar with this word, but they take it for granted.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 30.
All right, go ahead.
I was just waiting for them to pull it.
Okay, Con.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord.
Yeah, so they say, yeah, let's go see what these Israelites got to say. Let's say, let's see what they talk about. Some of them purposely just come up to the camp and, want to hear what we got to say, what we bringing out. Yeah, let's go listen to the Israelites. Let's go check out what the brothers are saying. Go ahead.
And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee.
Salakia, they come unto thee as the people cometh, meaning what? A lot of times they see a crowd around us, and then that's when they want to come up, right? Go ahead.
And they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them.
Right, they hear the word, but they will not do it. A lot of our people, they take us for granted on that level. They hear the word, but they will not do it. They've been listening for years. Listening for years, but they will not do anything beyond that. Right, go ahead.
Right. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness.
Yeah, if I had a dime for every person that say, I want to join, I'm coming to the next feast, I'm going to be at the next camp, how do I get myself right, elder? This is what you got to do. And you hear nothing back from that person. Because what? With their mouth, they show love, but their heart go. I know what it is. They still want to be in the world. They still doing worldly stuff and still want to fit into the world. And they know if they cross that threshold of fully coming into the truth, especially if they come amongst the camp, they're going to get checked. They're going to get corrected. They can't do that worldly stuff no more. All right, but they familiar. They very familiar with us. But it breeds contempt. And one of the meanings, it makes them take us for granted. They know the word is here. They see brothers doing the work. They see brothers teaching. They think brothers just going to be there always for their convenience. So I get myself together another time, man. I know I said I was coming to the Passover, but and they'll reach out to you. Hey, it was a Passover. I need to get myself right. You always hear that. I need to get myself right. What the Passover going to be this year, elder? I'm coming. I think that's going to be a good start for me. No call, no show. That's on you. And I know what it is. You still want to be in the world. You still want to be world. You don't want to change. Right? Come on.
And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words but they do them not.
Right, they hear the word, but they do them not. Some of them been listening for years, just won't change. Come on. But check
And
this
when
out. Check out what Ezekiel gonna say here. Check this out.
And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them.
Then they're gonna know a prophet have been among them. And we're gonna know. The Most High said, when you see that happening, that's how you know you must serve as prophets and teachers. Con? Yeah, the Most High said, when you see that, that's when you know the Spirit is working with you. Because it's going to happen. That's why I said, lo, it will come, it's going to happen. Because the Most High said it was going to happen. Then shall they know a prophet have been among them. By Shema Mashiach Yahawashi. Right? Go there. Give me Matthews 11 and 20. One or two more examples with Yahawashi. Matthew 11 and 20.
The book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 20. Then began he to upbraid the cities, wherein most of his mighty works were done, because they repented not.
Right, so Yahawashi started upbraiding or rebuking, sternly correcting and rebuking these cities because they wasn't taking heed to his works. Right, come on.
Woe unto thee, Chorazin. Woe unto thee, Bethsaida. For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes.
Right. He said, look, even if I went, because there were certain remnants of heathens dwelling in Tyre and Sidon. So he said, even if I went amongst heathens and they saw the mighty works I did, they would have been convinced. But because you Jews, you think you know somebody, you know what I'm saying? You think you're familiar, so you take it for granted. You don't appreciate it. You don't repent. You don't see the signs, right? You don't accept the signs, right? Come on.
But I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the day of judgment than you.
Good.
And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shalt be brought down to hell. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day.
Check that out, man. The Most High said, you Israelite cities, you cities where the Jews are, woe unto you. You're going to be destroyed unto hell because you repented not at the signs and the wonders and the teachings of the Messiah. But Sodom, if Sodom would have saw the miracles that Yahawashi did, they would have repented. It's going to be more tolerable for them in the day of judgment. That's heavy, man. They took Yahawashi for granted. They took him for granted. He said, if Sodom, Tyre, and Zidon saw the great works that I did, they would have repented. But you Negroes that got me here of my own nation, you take me for granted and you won't repent. Right? Read on.
At that time, Yahawashi answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent and hast revealed them unto babes.
See that? And that's another thing, right? Remember in Matthew 13, it said many prophets and wise men have wanted to see the things that I'm paraphrasing, wanted to see the things that you've seen, have not seen them. Because what Yahawashi said, look, man, you didn't choose the wise and prudent men. You chose the babes. You chose those coming out of Nazareth, out of the hood, those that are looked down upon, the lowly, the meek, who the people think they know ain't got nothing, they ain't gonna be nothing, don't come from nowhere. No, you're gonna raise me up to be your son and the top man that ever walked the planet Earth, along with the rest of the disciples and the other men. Right, go ahead.
Even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal to him.
Right, so Yahawashi said, man, y'all don't even know nothing. You got to be ordained. The Most High got to show you. Y'all think y'all cats think y'all know something. Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Only the Father knows the Son, and the Son knows the Father, and to whomsoever it's revealed. So that's why familiarity breeds contempt. It's the more people know you or think they know you. Think they know you. They tend to lose respect, take you for granted, or don't appreciate you. The more they think they know, in some instances. Now, don't get me wrong. People, you could be known for being off as hell. I mean, it is what it is. You know, that familiarity can breed contempt in a righteous way or in a like, no, this person is known for being off. You know what I'm saying? That there's different layers, levels, and dynamics to this thing. But on the surface, it's human behavior a lot of times. The more people know you or think they know you or see your flaws, they tend to lose respect, appreciation, and take you for granted. Right? Go ahead.
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls.
See that? Yahawashi said, I'm meek and lowly in heart. No pride over here. So that's why when I first came into the truth, you know, when I read about Yahawashi and, you know, many other scriptures, I saw the importance of meekness, lowliness, humility. Yahawashi said, take of me, I'm meek and lowly. And that's another thing, you know, familiarity can breed contempt because of your character, right? If you're known for being humble or meek, people think you're a pushover. All right, if you're known for being stern and not taking no shit, then people think you're mean and nasty and you don't have any mercy. See that? So familiarity can breed contempt in those aspects also.
God.
Man, I ain't gotta respect the elder. He's humble, he's me, he's laid back. You know, he give you a chance, he's fair, he's long-suffering. I can do what I want, whatever. Then when we gotta have a council or we gotta bark on somebody, that other side comes out. And brother, you off, you proud, you rebellious, you can get the hell out of HOI, shalom. Now I'm the bad guy. Now a documentary got to get made. You know what I'm saying? Because what? That familiarity bred contempt. You thought it was sweet. Nigga, you thought it was sweet. You forgot Elder got that East New York side in him. In righteousness, I will tell your ass where you can go out of HOI. Don't get it twisted. Don't get disrespectful and proud and too comfortable and slick with your damn mouth. Because I'll tell you where you can go. Shalom. I don't give a damn who you take with you and how many videos you make and you murmur and chop rap. Don't think it's sweet. But why make me be like that?
Right.
God, don't make me be the bad guy. But I will switch on your ass in a minute. But that's what happened a lot of times. Israel get comfortable. You down to earth. You laugh with them. You drink wine. You chill. You're a down to earth, hands-on type leader. You got flaws. You don't really even try to hide your flaws. Whatever. It's, you know, I'm me. But Israel get proud and bold because you're not the white man. You're not the boss on a job. You're not a nigga with $1 million. You're not a bold and mighty man or somebody they look up to. So they lose that respect. And then they get too comfortable. They get out of line and got out of order. They don't know what to say out their mouth. They start doing whatever they think they want to do. Oh, the elder, I can just do what I want to do. Then, all right, we got to reel you in. Now, a council is called. You got to be checked. You got to be put in order. Don't think it's sweet. Don't get it twisted. Now we're the bad guys. You know, the Terah, Elder Levi, you know, all the brothers, man. We humble brothers. At least we try to be. But that other side, it's there. Don't think it's sweet. But Yahawashi said what? I'm lowly and meek. Don't get familiar with that and think that's weakness or a push, or you just don't have to have no respect. You know what I'm saying? Don't get familiar with that gentle side, and then that means you could do what the hell you want to do and ain't gotta have no respect. No. Your ass will get, we'll see it, we'll peep it after a while. There'll be mercy extended. Might be a long period of mercy because it's one of the fruits of the spirit is long suffering. But when we get to that point, you gonna get corrected, you're gonna get shut down, or your ass can get the boot. Now, oh damn, I ain't even know the elders could get like that. You forced that in.
Mm-hmm.
Make it to where we continue to be the nice guys. Keep that spirit. But if you cross that line, you know where you're gonna be. There's plenty of them out there. They talking, murmuring, whatever. They moved on, doing them, whatever. It's all good. But you won't be here with disrespect and comfortability and forgetting who you talking to and thinking it's sweet and, you know, you on the same level and I'm rubbing shoulders. Nah, don't forget. Because I'm smiling with you and having a good time. Don't forget who I am. Don't forget who no brother or sister is. That goes for any brother or sister. Have respect amongst each other as a nation, no matter. This brother is weaker in this field than this brother. Don't show more respect to this brother than this brother. Have the same respect across the board.
So, yeah, Con Elder.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people say, like, would you rather be fed or respected?
Right.
Because when you get, you know what I mean? Because when you respect it, that could wither away when they come familiar with you.
Right.
But when they fear you, that don't go nowhere. Right. That's why a lot of people say, I'd rather you have you fear me than respect me. Right. But when you fear me, you do respect me.
Right. Because you know what I'm capable of.
Right.
God. Excellent point, man. Excellent point. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Most High wants us to fear him. Because when you fear him, you know what he's capable of, you're going to respect him.
Right.
That's why the Most High said, fear him. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep those lines drawn, and not just with leadership on any level, man. I don't look at a brother or sister and, you know, and you have a flaw or sin or shortcoming. I say it all the time. People have told me some of their worst dark secrets in this truth. They confided in me about. And I did not look at them any differently. I still had that same love and respect for them as a brother or sister. I respected them more because they were open and honest and said, Elder, I messed up. I need counseling. Please pray for me. I'm going to even tell you what happened. And I'm going to admit to it. I'm like, damn, I can't. What I'm going to do with that? I got to have 10 times more love and respect for you. So let's get on that level. You're going to see flaws. You're going to see sin. You're going to see weaknesses. You're going to see shortcomings. Now, should you try to work on stuff? Of course. Don't just sit there and be just, God damn, you ain't even trying to make it better. Or you embrace it, do the best you can, and you say, look, that's not one of my strong points, but I do the best I can. But I concentrate on my stronger points. You know what I'm saying? So people going to sin. All have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High. People going to have weaknesses. They're going to have stuff they're ashamed of. In the truth and out of the truth. but we gotta still maintain that respect. Don't get to know somebody too much where you lose respect for them. That's not fair. The more you know them, you should have more respect for them. Unless they just way off and out of hand, and then what? You still show them love and respect by helping them correct whatever's wrong with them. They don't want to correct it, then shalom, arms distance, but I'm going to still pray for you and hope you get it right one day. That's how we're supposed to move. Okay?
Con.
All right, read on.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Right, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. It's really not hard to serve Yahawashi. But if you serve him, you're going to drink of his cup. That familiarity going to breed contempt amongst you also. Go from there to Ezekiel 3. Go to Ezekiel 3 and 6 real quick to link that up. So Yahawashi said, if he would have went to Tyre, Zidon, or Sodom, and they saw the miracles he did, they would have repented. Check out what Ezekiel said. Ezekiel 3.
Con, it's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 6.
Like
Not
I said,
too many.
I went straight to Yahawashi, but the prophets, same thing. All right, they was hated too because some of them wouldn't know they came from lowly, and meek situations or areas in life, and the Most High rose them up to be prophets. The people like, who the hell you think you are? Right, come on, Ezekiel 3 and 1.
3 and 1?
Yeah.
Con.
Start at 1. I know I think I said 6, but start at 1.
Con. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel.
Right, the roll represents the scriptures or the scroll. Eat, spiritually eat this roll, study and learn these scriptures and hear what the Most High tell us to teach the people. Good.
So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee.
Good.
Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel.
Good.
Not too many people of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words
you're not sent to any other nation. You sent to the Israelites.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
Whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee.
See that? He said, if I sent you to them, they would have hearkened unto you. A stranger, another nation. If I'd have sent y'all to them, they would have listened. But because I send you to your own, and your own because of they think they're familiar with you, they don't respect you.
Right.
They take you for granted, they don't appreciate you. Good.
But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me.
Right.
For all the house.
The Lord said, don't take it personal. They're not listening to y'all because y'all talking about me.
Right.
Right? They don't want to listen to me. They think they're familiar with me. They take the Most High for granted. Right? Go ahead.
Right. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted.
Right. They're imputed. They're stubborn and hard-hearted. Go ahead.
Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads.
Right. The Lord said he made our face strong against their faces and our forehead strong against theirs. Meaning what? When you go out to teach, you got to be bold with Israel. You got to be strong. Because what? They already don't respect you because you their own people. You look like them. Familiarity breeds contempt. You're a nigger just like me. Who are you to tell me anything? Like they told Moses, who made you judge between us? So you already got that. Second of all, they worship the damn white man. Third of all, when they see you rebuking Esau and the other nations, they get offended. So they're going to come at you. Y'all been out there. Fights, gun. Over 30 years of teaching this word, I got a story for you. I got a gun story, a knife story, a jump story, a fight story, a being yoked up, sucker punched. I got a story for it all. You know what I'm saying? For this word's sake, because the spirits get heated out there. That's what the Lord said. I made my face hard. And a lot of it is because we're so-called Black, Latino, and Native American men. And the world feel, especially our people, they feel they don't have to respect it. Because the Black man, we familiar with him. The Hispanic man, Native American man, we don't got to respect them. They're nobody. They're from the hood. We racially profile them. They're the lowest of society. We don't have to respect them, even amongst our own people. So the Lord said, your face got to be hard against theirs. Your forehead got to be, your mind got to be hard against theirs. You got to be sharp. You got to be witty. You got to know how to cut whatever they're going to come with. Oh, I know what he's going to say already. Bye. I know where he's coming from. He's a coon. I know where he's coming from. He want to justify wickedness. I know where he's coming from. He feel no man has the right to judge. Bah. Get this scripture, that scripture. So we got to be sharp and ready for them because they're going to come hardcore at us. One of the reasons why, because what? I'm a Negro like you. You ain't ish because I ain't ish. Like he told his son in the 5 heartbeats. That's how people think. You ain't nobody because I ain't nobody. Familiarity breeds contempt. I ain't got to respect you. And it's your own kind, those that are closest to you. Read the story of David and Absalom. Remember David and Absalom? Absalom plotted 40 years to set his father up. 40 years. I think that's what's that? First Samuel 15. Who know what that story is at? With there's so many examples, man. I just started with Yahawashi and the prophets, but it's Absalom. 40 years he plotted against David. So a lot of times it's the ones right there close to you. Remember Nas said that? Watch them niggas that be close to you.
Right.
Make sure they do what they supposed to do. Because you know they be thinking about smoking you.
Smoking you. Yep.
Never personal. Nowadays is the ways.
Yep. God.
Right? Remember the other joint Nas he got with Busta. Suicide Bounce. He said, why they smile in my face. Secretly, I know they want my place. It be the ones closest to you.
Right.
It be the ones closest to you. Familiarity breeds contempt. I know him. I'm going to get to know him. I'm going to learn all his flaws, his weaknesses, everything I could use against him or her, and I'm going to overthrow them. I'm going to use all they downfalls against them. I'm not going to pray for them. I'm not going to try to strengthen them in those areas. I'm not going to have a genuine, loving talk with them and say, those are things you can work on. I'm not going, like I said, it takes a hell of a spirit to love somebody through their flaws. That's a whole nother level. But Israel, wicked as hell as a people, we still haven't mastered that. We think we know each other, so we ain't got to respect each other. Go to Matthew 24. Another classic. Get another classic. Matthew 24 and start at 36. So everybody understand, Con? Oh, everybody can't respond. Everybody can't respond. Put a Con 777 in the comments. I know. Y'all want to talk about the war and nuclear bombs, but we need classes like this also. God?
God. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until that day Noah entered into the ark.
Now, the reason why I'm going here, because people, brothers and sisters, this is why a lot of brothers and sisters fall off from the truth, or they go back into the world, or I say they become the everyday Israelite, meaning they know they Israel, but they just go back, they just work, live their life every day. You might see them wear their fringes once in a while. They might come by a camp. You might run into them. They might say shalom. They might say, when is the Passover, elder? I'm going to keep it in the house with my family. But they get a familiarity breeds contempt when it comes to the truth. This becomes redundant to them. Monotonous. That's the word I used earlier. It becomes monotonous to them. It becomes redundant. The truth gets boring after a while. They get familiar with it. They see what it's about. The bright-eyed and the bushy-tailed stage is over. They see flaws. That's another thing. Remember, the familiarity breeds contempt. It has a lot of levels to it. They see flaws in this truth. They see flaws in brothers and sisters in this truth. So what do? Read on.
And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right. Yahawashi said he's going to come like a thief in the night. You can't, no matter what you see, you got to endure. And it's not fair, because some of us brothers, the stuff that we seen, your ass would have ran from the truth. And the stuff you seen, I ain't dealing with Israel no more. What's the popular one? I'm not part of the Israelite community anymore. But you're still part of the nation. You born into the nation. You born an Israelite. You can't get away from that for nothing. So what community you part of now? Esau's community? The world community? What community are you part of?
Right, the world. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This Israelite community. Then what community are you? The individual-like community? You can't really, technically, you can't be an individual-like because you're born into a nation. If you got a family, if you got a wife and children, or you got a husband and children, or you got family, you can't be an individual-like, especially if they're in the truth too. Because you have people in this truth. So we know we use the term, but technically, what community are you part of if you're not part of the Israelite nation? Right, read on.
Then shall two be in the field. The one shall be taken and the other left.
Right, one going to be in the field, and one shall be taken and the other left, because everybody not getting beamed up on them chariots. HOI to them chariots fly. Only scream it if you mean it. Everybody not going to fly on them chariots. You're going to be left behind. Didn't Esau make Christian movies about it? The Left Behind series? Watch those movies too. They're interesting. You just see people vanish. And where they get that from the scriptures. They don't really go into the chariot aspect, but you just see people gone. Right? One shall be grinding, one shall be taken, the other left. Right, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Two women shall be grinding at the mill. The one shall be taken and the other left.
They're going to be left behind to be destroyed in the nuclear destruction. Go ahead.
Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doeth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up.
Right. So you always, like, you protect your home from a thief 24 hours a day. You got an alarm system. You keep your doors and windows locked. You might have that thing, a couple of things or two. All right. You ready at all times. Because you don't know. A burglar ain't going to tell you when he coming. Yeah, a burglar ain't going to tell you when he coming. So the same concept is the same concept with Yahawashi. He's coming like a thief in the night. He's not going to tell you. You just got to look for the signs and be always ready. Right? Come on.
Therefore, be ye also ready. For in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh.
Come on.
Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season?
God.
Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing.
Right. When your hour shall return, you better be busy in this truth. You better be busy in this truth. But now, check it out. This is what happened with a lot of brothers and sisters. Good.
Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods.
Right. He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. Right. The Most High said in Revelation, he that overcometh will I give all things. All right. Roughly paraphrasing. Right. Go ahead.
But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming.
See that? A lot of brothers and sisters, they lose patience. Familiarity with this truth breeds contempt with them. They start losing respect for it. They start not appreciating being in this truth, and they start taking it for granted. Right, read it again.
But and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming.
Yeah, man, I want Yahawashi to come back. And we still got to go to camp. Still got to do class. I still got to keep the Sabbath and the command. I'm not rich yet. You start having contempt for the truth because you get used to it. You get familiar with it. It gets redundant. It's the same thing over and over again. That's what it be with Israel. Probably them 95% of the time, it's boredom. The redundant. We just got to have something new. And new can be better, but it's not always better. All right, if it ain't broke, like my man Will said too, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Now, I'm all for new ideas, new things, but if something is working, you leave that. You don't have to change that. You leave that and you build upon it, or you add other things. But don't totally take away something that's working to bring in something else. If it's working, leave it alone. That same formula has worked for 30 years. You leave that alone and you build on that. Or you bring in other things to accommodate that. But you don't do away with something that's working. All right, go ahead.
And shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken.
See that? It said you begin to smite your fellow servants, meaning they start condemning other brothers and sisters that are still actively in the work. And they start being into the world and spending their time, giving their time to other things. Because what? Things ain't happening fast enough for you. Or you like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I mean, come on. That familiarity or knowing the truth, being in the truth, getting used to the truth, it starts to breed contempt. You see flaws in the truth. You see flaws in camps. You see flaws in brothers and sisters. So now you want to step away. You're an individualite. Or you go back in the world. Or you become the regular everyday Israelite. I know I'm an Israelite. I just live my life. You're not productive in the vineyard anymore. Right? Go ahead.
The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of.
Come on.
And shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Right. And the most extreme example I can give of that is I've seen brothers and sisters go back in the world and get killed.
Con.
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen brothers and sisters leave this truth. They get tired of it. They get weary. They want to go back in the world. It's not happening quick enough for them. Or you know what Israel do to a lot of Israel, familiarity breeds contempt. They get used to the truth. They think they know everything about the truth, right? This goes into a lot of that spirituality, that new age stuff, crystals and chakras, and a lot of them say, well, I know the scriptures. I got the scriptures. Now I'm receiving my second awakening. Now I'm going on to another level of spirituality.
On my spiritual journey. Right.
Huh? Yeah, I'm starting my spiritual journey. And they start getting into chakras and burning and the ancestors and candles and the little perfume bottles. I forgot what they call them. They start going to these spiritualist stores and all that, man.
Right.
And I know the scriptures. I know we Israel. I'm familiar with that. But what, they started taking it for granted, and they start moving on to other forms of knowledge that they think, oh, I know all about Israel now. I'm familiar with me being an Israelite. Let me move on. Not I'm Israel, and the Bible is always my foundation, but I'm gonna study a little bit of different type of knowledge. Just but I'm always Israel. I'm always gonna study my scriptures, read my scriptures, learn about the Most High Yahawashi. Right? So a lot of that happens. Israel, they be familiarity breeds contempt with this truth. They get comfortable. It gets redundant to them. It's the same thing. They get familiar. They know it. So they start to lose respect for it. They start to point out the flaws in it. They start to take it for granted and not appreciate it. That can even happen when it comes to this truth. Kind? Right? So go to Acts 16:16. Acts 16 and 16.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 16, verse 16.
Read.
And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying.
Right. She was a ancient Miss Cleo. All right. Psychic network.
Right.
All right. So ancient Miss Cleo. Remember they brought Miss Cleo to court. And they said she was a fake or something like that. And Miss Cleo said, look, the company, she said, I work for a company. She said they used to make like $10 million a year, but they used to pay me $60,000. I think it was something happened with Miss Cleo. And she was saying how that was all a company she was working for. And she only got paid like $60,000 a year, but the company was making millions off of her fake psychic network. So the same thing back then. They was getting paid off this woman that was supposedly a fortune teller and a psychic. They was getting paid off the people. Just like now, let me read your palm, $35. I see great things in your future. You're gonna get married next year and you'll have a great job, and you need to get rid of bad energy around you. And all right, that'd be $35. Good? Getting paid. All right, good.
The same followed Paul and us, and cried, saying, These men are the servants of the Most High God, which show unto us the way of salvation.
See that? She said, these are the men of the Lord. They come to show us the way of salvation. Right? Because what when you check out divination and soothsaying, that goes into what? Familiar spirits. So the left-hand side spirits, they familiar, they know who the men of the Lord are. Them left-hand side spirits know. Right, go ahead.
And this did she many days. But Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the spirit, I commanded thee in the name of Hamashiach Yahawashi to come out of her, and he came out the same hour.
Right, because she kept going behind them. You know what I'm saying? These are the men of the Lord. They come to show us the way of salvation. That spirit in her knew who they were. And it was like, damn, these guys going to mess up our money. Because they come and teaching the people about salvation. We over here trying to get paid off of damn soothsaying and divination. But being on the left-hand side, they were familiar with Paul and the righteous spirits. These men are the servants of the Lord, which show unto us the way of salvation. Okay?
Come.
Right, go ahead.
And when her masters saw that the hope of their gains was gone, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers.
Yeah, see that? They saw the hope of their gains was gone. Because he called the spirit out of her. Paul was like, look, man, get that spirit. Now you're not able to soothsay or divinate anymore and get your masters paid. Because Paul called that spirit out of her. But that spirit was like antagonizing Paul and them, like, they came to show us the way of salvation. You know, basically they're going to mess up the money. Because people going to see when you turn to the ways of the Most High Yahawashi, that psychic stuff is garbage. Right, read on.
And brought them to the magistrates, saying, these men being Jews do exceedingly trouble our city.
Here they go, man. They coming with that truth, man. They coming with that way of salvation. They're going to mess up the money. They're going to start converting everybody, and everybody not going to be into this psychic network no more. These dudes messing up the money. Right, go ahead.
And teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans.
Go ahead.
And the multitude rose up together against them, and the magistrates rent off their clothes and commanded to beat them. And when they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safely.
That's it on that. I got the main point that I wanted. But see, the familiar spirits knew who Paul and the disciples were. They said, these are the men of the Lord. Right? So the spirits know. They know. They know these are the men of the Lord. It breeded contempt amongst them. They start hating. They was hating Paul and them because they said they're going to mess up the money, man. These cats going to start converting the city and mess our psychic network up. Right? So sometimes it's the familiarity breeds contempt when they know who the righteous spirits are. That's why a lot of our people, they don't like to see us because what? You know, I literally seen Israelites over the years, they'll see us teaching and they'll walk the other way because they know we telling them, thus saith the Lord. And a lot of times they doing some kind of wickedness and they don't want to have to face us. Because that familiarity with them knowing who the men of the Lord are, it breeds contempt on that level also. Okay?
God.
All right, go to I'm gonna get a few more now. Aria, you there?
Yeah, Khan.
Yeah, this is gonna be a part one. I'm about to do a part
Okay.
two because there's a lot more. There's a lot more. Let me just get a few more for examples, and then that's it. We'll close out because it's 3 hours already. I want to keep it limited. This could be a part one. So let's go to Deuteronomy 32 and 15. So real quick, let me show a couple of them videos. A lot of stuff I sent y'all I ain't even show. That's why I got to be a part 2 because I got a lot of articles and other stuff. Put up the Familiarity Breeds Contempt video, the one where it's just like AI talking. There's no image. It's just like the AI talking.
1 minute. I'll be right back, Elder.
God. But we're going to play the video anyway. Play the video of Familiarity Breeds Contempt with the AI. Well, you know, the one that's just talking, the one where it's not a person talking, is one where it's just talking, the words are across the screen. I'm going to just get a few videos of, it's hundreds, probably thousands of videos on this subject. And it's a very interesting subject because it gives other layers of it. Familiarity doesn't always breed contempt. It can also breed respect. The more you know someone, the more their name speaks for them. So it's layers to this, but I just want to show a couple of quick videos of what this is going into.
What is familiarity breeds contempt? Have you ever noticed how sometimes we take the people or things we see every day for granted? This idea is captured in the saying, familiarity breeds contempt. But what does it really mean? This phrase suggests that when we become too familiar with someone or something, we often lose respect or appreciation for it. This concept has been around for ages and appears in various cultures and stories. The roots of this saying can be traced back to ancient wisdom. One of the earliest references comes from Aesop's fables, particularly in the tale of the fox and the lion. In this story, a fox initially fears a lion. However, as the fox becomes more accustomed to the lion's presence, that fear diminishes. This illustrates how getting too comfortable can lead to a decrease in respect. In today's world, we often see this saying applied to personal relationships. For instance, when two people are in a long-term relationship, they may become so comfortable with each other that they start taking each other for granted. This can lead to boredom or a lack of appreciation for the other person. The workplace is another area where this saying holds true. When colleagues work together for a long time, they might become complacent. They may overlook each other's contributions or fail to show respect for their ideas. This can create a negative atmosphere and affect teamwork. From a cultural perspective, the phrase serves as a reminder to appreciate the people and things around us, even as we grow more familiar with them. It encourages us to maintain respect and appreciation, avoiding the trap of letting familiarity lead to boredom or disdain. Understanding this saying can help us navigate our relationships and interactions more effectively. By being aware of how familiarity can lead to contempt, we can take steps to keep our relationships fresh and respectful. Simple actions like expressing gratitude or trying new activities together can help maintain that spark. So, the next time you find yourself in a familiar situation, remember the saying, familiarity breeds contempt.
All right, that was it.
Yeah, Con.
All right, show the one with the sister with the glasses on. There's a sister with glasses on and she got short hair.
If your booty...
These are just, I'm just showing y'all different aspects of how they break down the familiarity breeds contempt. Yeah, play this sister. Hers is good. Check out this one, y'all. She's going to tell a nice, interesting story. Hers is good.
I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. I was at an event, and I'd been asked to do a meet and greet. Now, I had been asked to do several of them, and I agreed because I loved the people that I was working with, and they could almost ask me to do anything. They were wonderful. They were just very, very wonderful people, and the work that they do is amazing. I was at one of these meet and greets, and a woman came up and said, I just need to know how you get the fees that you get, how you make the money that you make. That's what I need to know from you, because I do exactly what you do, and I don't make nowhere close to what you make. And if I had pearls, I'd have clutched them. I could hear one of my mother's favorite phrases in my mind: familiarity breeds contempt. In other words, you get too close and too familiar with someone, you begin to lose respect for who they are and what they do. I also think of it another way, that too close without a proper exchange, without an exchange of stories, of information, of life, of love, it breeds a lack of respect. And everyone deserves respect. Everyone. I met with my friend who doesn't have a house and lives outside. And I got to know her a little bit more and got to know a little bit more about her, but not without first divulging more about me. And one of my friends was like, well, what about it? She had some questions, and I was like, girl, I don't know. And I didn't ask because I did not have the right to ask those kinds of questions without a relationship. Familiarity breeds contempt. I looked at that woman who was asking me about what I make, knowing that she had no idea of what I made. And she said, well, what do you do? What do you do that I'm not doing? Because we do the same thing. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, doctor. And she said, oh, I'm not a doctor. And I said, oh, okay. I said, oh, that time we were working in the prisons and we drove together 5 hours in each direction every week to work with those people incarcerated. She said, I don't volunteer in no prison. I said, I must have met you that time working in juvie hall, and we would go every holiday to be with those kids. She said, I don't work in juvie hall. I said, I know you from somewhere. You look so familiar. It must be that time that you gave up those 10-minute, $100,000 speeches with that big group of people who were really doing some things they should have been doing so that you could volunteer at that shelter for battered women. That must be where we know each other from. And she said, I said, then you don't know anything about me. You don't know what I make. You read somewhere online what you think I make. You don't know. And you don't know what I do for nothing. Listen, in this culture, we say don't talk about politics or religion. When I think we should stop talking so much about sex and money. Familiarity breeds contempt. We should get closer to one another in ways that allow proper exchange of information without asking too much. It's just a natural exchange. We should begin to understand that what you think you know about a person and how they got to where they are is not what it is. One of those reasons that I don't spend too much time in meet and greets and receptions is because I'm holding my heart and holding space for everyone that I'm consulting with, working with. And I don't want the influence of one to take away what the many may need. Sometimes those things get in your head and your heart in a way that is not effective. And the other reason is really simple. If you get too loose and too familiar with folks you need to share with, they don't believe nothing you're saying. I've seen that drunk person at a reception, and it was okay because everybody else was drunk, but you shouldn't be. Familiarity breeds contempt. And for my mother, with a middle school education, but who read every book she ever found, she was so wise, and that wisdom deserved her respect.
Right, that's it on that one. Now notice what the sister was saying. She was breaking it down like, look, I didn't know this woman, but she was trying to get to know me. She was trying to get familiar with me talking about she want to make the money that I make, but you don't even know the money that I make. Sometimes people want to get familiar with you because they want to breed that contempt. They want to know stuff about you to use for their own purpose, to build themselves up. A lot of times they're using you for information. So they want to get familiar with you, get what they can out of you, and then they're going to use it for their own benefit. And then a lot of times what they'll do, they'll take credit for it, and they'll take you for granted. They want to appreciate you. They'll lose respect for you because what? You let your guard down and you let that person get too familiar with you. Kind?
Gone.
So sometimes you gotta keep that guard up. Kind?
Right. Gone.
Go to Sirach 19. I like the way she spun it from that angle. Kind? Salakia. Let me see what I want. Salakia, bear with me. Shucks and ducks. I want, who knows that one in the Apocrypha? The deceitful man has many trains. Bring not every man into thine house. You got to be very careful with.
Salakia. That's Sirach 11.
Yeah, Sirach 11. Yeah, let's get
29.
that. You got to be very careful with who you allow to get familiar with you. That's what she was really going with that. Because people have agendas and that familiarity will turn to contempt. So you got to be careful about who you even let know stuff about you or get to it. Nah, I can't just be letting everybody get familiar with me. I don't give a damn if people want to say, oh, you're deceitful, you got something to hide, you're not transparent. I don't give a damn about none of that. Your ass got an agenda. I'm not letting you know a damn thing.
That's right.
Right? Sirach 11 and 29.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 29. Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains.
Right. You can't bring everybody. Everybody can't get familiar with you. Even those you among sometimes. They can't because they got many trains. They got different trains of thought. They got stuff. They got agendas. They're plotting. You got to be circumspect. You got to read the spirits and be very careful. Right? Come on.
Like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud, and like as a spy watcheth he for thy fall.
They just waiting to learn stuff about you so they can use it against you and they can watch your fall. People want to see flaws. They want dirt on you. They want to see stuff they can use. Right? Come on.
For he lieth in wait. For he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil.
They lie in wait and they turn good into evil. You try to do something good, all of a sudden it becomes evil. Right? Come on.
And in things worthy praise will lay blame upon thee.
Right. How the hell you going to take something that I was trying to do in the spirit to help my brothers and sisters or the work or the nation or anything to better myself, and you're going to turn it into something evil? So everybody can't get familiar with you. Most people shouldn't get familiar with you. Right? Go ahead.
Of a spark of fire, a heap of coals is kindled, and a sinful man layeth wait for blood.
Listen, man, you can, somebody can hate you so much, man, they want to put you in a position to get you hurt. And the more they know about you, they can use it against you. Right? Come on.
Take heed of a mischievous man, for he worketh wickedness, lest he bring upon thee a perpetual blot.
Yes, and he's trying to find something so he can use it against you and continue to have that dirt on your name. Right, come on.
Receive a stranger into thine house, and he will disturb thee and turn thee out of thine own.
See that? Don't receive a stranger. Somebody not familiar, they don't need to become too familiar.
Right.
Especially if you get red flags. Khan?
Khan.
Salakia, 1 second. Salakia. Khan Salakia. So see that? You know, so you got to be careful in that aspect also. So the Spirit, that was a little alternative perspective the sister gave on it, but it was deep. All right? You can't let people get too familiar because it will breed contempt. They already coming with an agenda. They trying to get to know you because they ass is up to something. Show the video with the Levite sister. Now, this is from another angle. This is us amongst us as a people, man. You know, we have familiarity, so we think through stereotypes. Check this out. Y'all saw this video before. I think brothers showed it in the class already, but you can take different things and use it for different topics because certain things covers a multitude of, you can look at it from different angles. It covers a multitude of topics. Like a brother said on a comment board, yeah, brothers use the same scriptures, but just from different perspectives. You damn right. What kind of dumb statement is that, man? The word of the Lord is not limited.
Right.
Yeah, you can use a scripture for multiple understandings or multiple instances or references. That's the beauty of that's the ever-living waters. I was like, what kind of statement is that for a man in the truth? Yes, you can see
the gift that
from
keeps
different
giving.
perspectives. Yes.
Right.
Huh?
I said, this the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah, that's the gift that keeps giving, right? That's the ever-living waters.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Of course you can teach the scriptures. You can teach one scripture many different ways as long as you're not bringing a doctrine or giving some other type of understanding. But yeah, you can teach the scriptures from different perspectives, of course. All right, of course it's good to get different scriptures on a topic, of course. But similar situations and similar scriptures can be used in different aspects. So play that video.
Who? As far as I'm Haitian. Why? Where you from? What's your background? You American? Dirty black American?
Wait, what?
Huh? What?
Wait, what you say?
American? Black American? What?
No. Hold on. You said dirty black American.
You heard that? You just asked me what I said. I did.
Why you said that?
Because that's what y'all are. Dirty black American.
She just said that?
I did. A dirty black American. I sure did. Because that's what y'all are.
Just chill out on that dirty black American comment. That's all.
I'm sorry. You really took offense to that. I apologize.
Anybody would take offense to that.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't.
Why you said that though? I'm saying, why would you even fix your lips and say that though? I'm confused.
Because that's just my experience. Like,
Bruh.
It's my experience. So I'm gonna speak on it. But I apologize.
It's your experience?
Yeah. So I apologize.
What experience you had?
If I offended you.
You accept the apology?
No.
Yeah, like that's super disrespectful. Like,
she did say it's dirty black Haitians too, though.
Nah, I would never fix my lips to say, and I know some dirty black Haitians. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would never fix my lips to say dirty black. I wouldn't generalize, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and now it is, bro. That's that Caribbean.
It's not.
And this is why we having the diaspora wars, because of dumb shit words. Remember that other Haitian, bro? Remember the other Haitian shit?
Care about nationalities. It's all about the personality to me.
You just said
No. I'm sorry. I can't do Americans. I need somebody with culture. I'm sorry.
Black Americans got culture. Americans got culture. You rolling. must be a Haitian thing for sure. Like, y'all, I don't know what the
it's
issue
a
is.
Haitian thing, and I won't say that y'all don't have culture. Like, y'all have the things that y'all do.
We are the culture. Like,
okay. Y'all have the things that y'all do. Just
we are the culture. That's
just
it.
like, okay, so then Caribbeans are a culture too.
No, y'all have a culture. We are the culture. That's two different things. Like.
It's not.
Okay, here goes the tribalism.
Yeah.
But you see through stereotypes, familiarity breeds contempt with our people through stereotypes. Where'd she get dirty black American from? You know what I'm saying? Now, remember, go to Malachi 2:1. We don't want to get tribal here, but remember the stereotypes on Levites.
That's right.
On so-called Haitians. And the other girl was like, I need to date somebody with culture. What culture? And both of them, they look like the typical American. If I saw them walking down the street, I might think they Judah. She had the tight spandex on, the hair, the whole Eve look.
That's right.
You're not in Haiti with a damn dress on and carrying some fruit with some sandals on your feet. You got a pair of Nikes or New Balance on, whatever. You got the tight spec. You got the black American look.
That's right.
But a lot of times the familiarity breeds contempt through stereotypes. Oh, all black Americans are dirty. But didn't they used to say that about Levi? Didn't they used to say that about Haitians? Oh, you a dirty Haitian.
Booty scratching Haitian.
Like, hold up. Huh?
A booty scratcher.
Yeah. See that? But I said, hold up. When I start getting a little older and I start meeting Levites, I start going to their crib and stuff. I'm like, nah, their crib is clean. They wash up, they food, whatever they look, you know what I'm saying? But it was a stereotype. And what happened, it breeded contempt because you believe that stereotype. People think, black Americans are dirty, nasty, crackheads. You know what I'm saying? So you think you're familiar with a particular culture, or I would say tribe in this instance, since we're dealing with Israel, because of stereotypes. Malachi 2:1.
Khan. It's the book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 1.
Read. Oh, you got to pull it up.
Yeah, they got it. Khan, Malachi 2:1. And now, O ye priests, this commandment is for you. If ye will not hear, and if ye will not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, saith the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Yea, I have cursed them already, because ye do not lay it to heart.
So the Most High already let us know he put a curse on Levi, which is the so-called Haitians today. Come on.
Behold, I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your faces.
So we don't want to talk about dirty black American.
Gone.
The Most High said he was going to spread, literally. You got voodoo books and different books on Haiti where they show them spreading dung on their faces.
Mm-hmm.
And the dung on their faces meaning what? The Lord will put stereotypes on Levi that they're dirty Haitians. But like I said, when I started meeting certain Levites around the way and start going to their crib, and I was like, no, what they said that about the Haitians? They're not like that. Maybe back in their country because of certain curses and everything. But the Lord said he was going to put that stigma on them of being dirty, spreading dung upon their faces. The Lord said he was going to do that to them. Right? Come on.
Even the dung of your solemn feast, and one shall take you away with it.
Good.
And ye shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi, saith the Lord of hosts.
Right, because the covenant was with Levi. They was the lawgivers. All right, go ahead.
My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me. and was afraid before my name.
Right, because remember the name lawyer in the Hebrew means joined to me. And then a lawyer in the English is what? Is someone that deals with the law in the court system. Right? It's spelled different, but it's from the same word. Lawyer in the Hebrew, the ancient Paleo, L-A-W-Y-A-H, I believe. And then lawyer, L-A-W-Y-E-R in the English. All right, go ahead.
The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity.
Come on.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
Right. The priest was to give the law. They was set up to be the lawgivers. All right. To do the sacrifices and the ceremonies to the Most High. So they had a high position. Levi had a high position. Come on.
But ye are departed out of the way. Ye have caused many to stumble at the law. Ye have corrupted the covenant of Levi, saith the Lord of hosts.
Because what? The Most High cursed them. They start going into voodoo and black magic and the Catholic Church. They're heavily into the Catholic Church in Haiti. Right? Y'all see they make movies about it. The Serpent and the Rainbow. Right? The Skeleton Key. Right? So it's not just a stereotype. The Most High actually brought these particular curses on Haiti, the so-called Levites. Some of them over there are literally eating dirt cookies.
Yeah.
You want to talk about dirty Black American, but that's what? That's that familiarity breeding contempt because of stereotype. Read on.
Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people.
See that? Familiarity breeds contempt. The Most High said, I would make Levi contemptible and base amongst the people. So we get into these stereotypes, dirty Black American. I mean, I don't co-sign that, of course, being into the truth. I love Judah, I love Levi, I love my nation, but it just shows you these curses on our people. Familiarity breeding contempt through stereotypes. Read on.
Before all the people, according as ye have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the law.
So the reason why such a harsh curse and judgment came upon Levi, because what? They were supposed to uphold the law. The Lord said, y'all supposed to teach the people the law, and y'all fell from that. So I'm going to make y'all contemptible and base amongst the people. Ew, you Haitian?
Right.
Ew, dirty Haitian booty scratcher.
Yep.
Remember that?
Con. I used to get on them dresses.
Don't come with that Black American, but that contempt is there. Why? Because of stereotypes. She bring her ass over here now. Now she could sip a drink, put on some tight spandex and some Nikes. She probably couldn't do that in Haiti. Now she bring her ass over here looking just like Eve. Like I said, if she walking down the street, I might think she Judah. But what? These are the stereotypes amongst our people that breed contempt.
Salakia.
Right.
You see how she dressing? She dressing like a Black American.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I said. If I see her walking down the street, I think she's Eve.
Right. But years ago, like when you said, when you used to get on Haitians, she would have on some open-toe sandals and some corduroys.
God.
You know? And so she learned how to dress through Black Americans.
God. She might have had some open-toe sandals, a Catholic school Sunday dress on with a you know, and it's winter time.
Just terrible.
You know what I'm saying? So don't go there.
Right.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. You learn how you got your swag from being here with Judah.
That's right. That's right.
Stop it. But you see how that contempt can come?
God.
But the Most High said, I'm going to make y'all contemptible. I'm going to spread dung upon your faces. Don't talk nothing about being dirty. Don't talk about nobody being dirty. Because the Most High literally said, I'm going to make you contemptible.
Right.
That's the root word in the class, the title of the class, the root word is within that word, contemptible.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's not go there, my little Levite sister there. Stop it. Let's not do that. Good?
Good.
Right, go to Deuteronomy 32 and 15. I'm gonna just get a couple of more and close out. This could be a part two. This could go to so many angles and levels. Deuteronomy 32:15.
God, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 15. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook the Most High, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
See that? We start taking the Most High for granted.
Mm-hmm.
We waxed fat, we kicked. See that? That's hip talk, right? We waxed fat, we kicked. You know, kick back, watch this game on this big screen TV. You know what I'm saying? I'm waxing fat, son. Look at me, son. I ain't waiting for nothing, son. Look at me. Right? Go ahead.
They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger.
See that? They got familiar with the Most High and it breeded contempt. Now we're going to serve other gods. Our God, the true and living God of Israel, he's boring to us now. He's boring. We got everything we need. We good. He blessed us. Now we need to try these other gods. Idle and bored and start getting contempt, taken for granted, and not appreciating the Most High and losing respect for the Most High power of Israel. Come on.
They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
What's the key word in that verse? What's the key word in verse 17? Yeah, I wish everybody could answer. It's two. What's the two key words? They similar. I gave it away. New and newly.
Yeah, what does he do?
Familiarity breeds contempt. They got too used to the Most High. The Most High got boring to them. They needed a new God, new gods, Salakia. New gods that came newly up. And that's Israel for you. Israel will get bored because the wind is blowing. We need to learn to go sit our ass down somewhere. Israel just do stuff just to do it. Don't know what the hell they doing. Just I'm sitting here. I don't know what to do with myself. And that's where that comes from too. Not knowing what to do with yourself. When you're in this truth and you serving them, I don't know, but I always could think of something to do in this truth in my personal life, some business to take care of it. You really ain't got no idle time in this kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You can always think of something in the spirit to do, not something because you're bored and you just want something. But that's our people. They want something new, familiar. They get too used to it. They get to know something. They get too used to it. They get bored. They find flaws in it. They take it for granted. They don't appreciate it. Familiarity breeds contempt. Read on.
Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten the Most High that formed thee.
Forgot about the Most High, taking the Most High for granted, not appreciating him, no respect for him. Right, go ahead.
And when the Lord, the Most High, saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and his daughters.
Go ahead.
And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith.
Right, see that? The Most High said, I'm going to turn on y'all now. I'm going to see what's going to happen to y'all. I'm going to take my righteous hedge of protection from around y'all. Right, go ahead.
They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not the Most High. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
There you go. And that's Esau and the other nations. That's not the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom being provoked to jealousy by the northern kingdom. I don't see that. All right, that's talking about you wanted to serve the gods of the other nations, so I'm going to turn to them and make them my people and show you how it feels. Okay?
God.
That I don't see that the northern and southern kingdom. That don't make sense to me. But keep it humble to those that see it that way. Knock yourself out. All right. Let me see. Real quick. Familiarity breeds contempt in relationships. Let's get that real quick. Just 2 verses on that. That can be a topic within itself. Let's go to Sirach 9:1, Ecclesiasticus 9:1, because it mentioned about relationships, right? Marriages. Husbands getting tired of wives. Wives getting tired of husbands. All right, but check this out. Remember, even though it's from a worldly standpoint, one of the vows of marriage that they say, through sickness and health, through richer for poor, for better for worse, those are to death do your part, even though those are biblical standards. You know, but they say that even in worldly vows, because what? Marriage is supposed to be treated as a union that's supposed to survive through thick and thin. You don't just get tired of your husband. You don't just get tired of your wife. Now, if your wife or husband is off as hell, they commit adultery, they doing stuff that's off, they got bad habits that's just not getting any better, it's getting worse, it's affecting the house, so that's different. That's totally different. And you got common sense. But you don't just board your way out of your marriage. Or the grass is greener on the other side. Like, like my man Bun B kept it real. He said, you might see somebody that look better than your spouse. Most people ain't gonna say that. Baby, you the best looking woman I ever seen. Hubby, you the best looking man I ever seen. But Bun B kept it real. He said, you're gonna see somebody that looks better than your spouse. And in your mind, you know they do. From a carnal, worldly aspect, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Mm-hmm. But he was like, you got to have that love and that loyalty to the person that you're with. But he's like, you're going to see beautiful people all the time. He kept it a G. A lot of people, they ain't going to say it like that. He's like, I can see a woman that looks better than my wife. But that don't mean I got to go after her. And I got to be content with my wife, with the wife that God gave me. Or wives, if you're into polygyny. But what the brother said is real. He was keeping it all the way G. He said, I'm down in Houston, Texas. A fine sister could walk by me with that Houston, you know what. Everything is bigger in Texas.
Uh-huh.
But he's like, that don't mean I have to go out. I have to appreciate the woman that I'm with and love her. And same thing, man, you know, you might see a man, he buff, he tall, what they say, tall, dark, and handsome. Buff, you know, he got his ish together. He driving a foreign. You know, damn, he look better than my husband. Most people ain't gonna admit that, like Bun B said. You know what I'm saying? But
better not admit it.
They better not admit it. If they know it's good for them. No, baby, I only got eyes for you. You damn liar. Nah. Nah, no folly. I got a theory. Certain behavior is universal human behavior, and I'm gonna leave that right there. Sirach 9:1.
Khan, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 1. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself.
See that? So as a man, you have to conduct yourself as a man and a husband with your wife, and don't be jealous over her, and don't teach her an evil lesson against you. So my point being, don't give your spouse familiarity in something off where it's going to breed contempt, where they'll be justified in the way they feel. Because you have done things to breed contempt with them. But just because you've been with somebody, or you bored, or you just, their flaws, nah, that's not what marriage is about. You don't leave nobody over that. You know what I'm saying? That's why it said, I like the different angles and the aspects, because it's not just one aspect to this saying. They would say it can be a relationship, it can be a manager on a job, it can be an organization you in, like the Truth. Even though it's a nation, but you know, it can be called the organization. You can't let your familiarity and the flaws of it or everyday things cause you to get bored or unappreciative or take it for granted or start to despise it just because you hate it because you're familiar with it. You're like overused to it. But like Sirach is saying here, don't give your spouse, and this is for women too, towards men, don't give your spouse a reason to have contempt against you because you have done things that you keep doing over and over. It's familiar things that are off. So you can cause someone, and not just with relationships, I'm just using that as an example, any type of relationship. If you keep failing as a leader, people are not going to respect your leadership. If you own a company and your profits is all over the place, you're not turning a profit, the company ain't getting better, you ain't, you know, people stealing from the company, they're getting fired, back and forth. Damn, you got to get this company in order. So don't give people reasons to become familiar with things that you're doing that are off for them to have contempt against you. And that's in relationships. But a husband or a wife just saying, I'm just used to this nigga. This nigga will get on my nerves. Like that movie on Poetic Justice. When he get back, I'm quitting his ass. I'm quitting his time. You know what I'm
but
saying?
he was causing that problem though. Yeah, it was his fault.
Yeah, Joe Torre was off.
Yeah.
But I'm just using a saying. Because sometimes women, they say that without no cause. The man ain't doing. I'm just tired of his. But in that instance, yeah, in the movie, he was off. Oh man, no fun. But and men do that, man. I'm tired. Like school days. I'm squashing her. She's just too much fun. And then set the man up to sleep with Spike Lee. You know what I'm saying? don't do your spouse like that. If you make, that's why courting, talking, proving a friend, that's very important, because hopefully you can see things along the way and say, can I deal with this or can I not? Or can this change? Can we help change this? Can we make this better? Can we get in a position? Or can I still love this person through that? Some people, they just got their flaws. They just got areas they're not the greatest in. And that takes a whole nother level. I can love you through that. But, you know, just because they was talking about relationships, but don't cause that contempt. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. Right. I mean, 1 Corinthians 7 and 20. Don't be like Joe Torian. Cause her to say, I'm quitting his ass. 1 Corinthians 7:27. No fire. 1 Corinthians 7:27.
God, it's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 27. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife.
So Paul, back during this time, there was trouble going on in the city of Corinth and the Corinthian church. And Paul was basically giving advice saying, if you bound to a wife, hold on to your wife, endure. And we can apply that to this same day and age now. We're living in the last days. Things are getting rough. It's you know, spirits, man, a lot of stuff rising up, a lot of people having problems and issues staying married. It's not easy. You got to put in work and endure and really you got to really just not let Satan come in. You know what I'm saying? But Paul said, if you bound to a wife or a husband, don't seek to be loose. Stick it out, tough it out, endure. Right? Come on. Oh, he said, art thou loose from a wife, seek not a wife or a husband. Meaning, if you're not married, try to stick it out till Yahawashi come, because that'll give you more time to focus on the Most High and serve Him. Marriage can be it can take a lot out of you, and you got to put work into it. So Paul was just giving advice. He wasn't saying you're not supposed to marry, you shouldn't marry. But he was like, if you can stay single until Yahawashi return, because of the state that the world is in, and you know, it's just a lot of it's hard maintaining a marriage, physically, spiritually, mentally, everything, then hey, stay single till Yahawashi come. But that's not, he was not saying you got to be single. Because when you read up, he said it's better to marry than to burn.
Well, he's saying what he was saying, seek not a wife. Like if you don't have one, you ain't got to seek one. But if the Lord send you one.
Right,
You know
exactly. Excellent. The water for that add-on. Yeah, if you ain't got to seek one, but if the Lord send you one, it's all good.
God.
Right, so Paul was not saying don't get a wife. He was just giving advice. Like, you know, don't seek it out. Stay by yourself. Focus on the Most High. And when you check it out, the more you focus on the Most High and getting your spirit and mind right, you'll be better prepared for a wife or a husband. Okay?
God.
Because you got your spirit right. So he was also saying in that aspect, focus on the Most High. If it happened, it happened. It don't, it don't. All right, read on.
Verse 28. And if thou marry, thou hast not sinned.
Right. So Paul was saying, I'm not telling you not to marry. You're not sinning if you marry. Right, good.
And if a virgin marry, she have not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you.
Right. It says such, you're going to have trouble in the flesh, because marriage, and especially in a jacked up kingdom, marriage in a messed up kingdom and you not empowered, it's hard. But it's even hard for the people in empire. Look at all these celebrities and famous. They be getting divorced left and right too, man. It's like, you know, it's hard in this world, period, because we live in a demonic, unstructured world. So Paul was like, it's hard. It's not easy being married and maintaining a marriage, but it's not a sin if you do it. But he said, if you choose to marry, you're going to have trouble in the flesh. You're going to have problems in your marriage.
Okay.
And that's not for you to get contempt and just bail out. He said, if you bound, don't seek to be loose. Tough it out. Stay, because actually you and your spouse could work together in this trying time and be a stronghold for each other. Paul was talking from that aspect also. So if you're married, don't seek to be loose, you know, work it out, tough it out as much as you can. You know, if something happened or the Most High, you know, whatever, it can be any situation. The Most High can show, no, this is not of me. I got some kind of way I'm going to end this. I don't know how that would be, but if it ain't nothing on that level, then, you know, you tough it out. You know what I'm saying? You endure it to the end. Because you and that spouse can actually be a stronghold for each other in the day of trouble. When things get bad or whatever, you got each other to, you know, turn to. Okay?
Good.
All right. So, just get one more. We'll, probably come back and do a part 2. Get Proverbs 22:1. Yeah, there's tons more, but Proverbs 22:1.
Come on, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold.
Right. So familiarity can also breed respect, because what? You got a good name. People know you for being an upright person. So sometimes it's good that people are familiar with you because they can vouch for you. They can speak on your behalf. Nah, this dude is solid. This sister is solid. They're real. They keep their word. I dealt with them for many years. They on point. They always been the same. They get things done. So familiarity in that sense can breed respect because you're known, you're familiar. The people are familiar with you and your character speaks for itself.
God.
Your name is known. So familiarity can also breed respect. And I mean, there's so much more, but yes, 3 hours and change. Yeah, this can be a part 2 because there's much more. Like I said, read the story of David and Absalom. Absalom plotted on his own father for 40 years. 40 years. And a lot of times it's the people closest to you. It's the ones that are the most familiar with you that will turn on you. They'll lose respect for you. They'll see your flaws and use that against you, or lose respect for you because you have flaws. When the scriptures say a just man falleth 7 times, scriptures say all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High. You know, and they'll take you for granted or won't appreciate you because they're too familiar, or so they think. And a lot of times people, like I said, they think they know you. You could be going through a period. Because I've seen there's people I've even seen like, nah, that's not him. He went, yeah, man, I was going through something at the time. I was slipping. I wasn't moving like I was supposed to. I wasn't as strong as I was. That ain't me. But people will meet them on that level and think they know them. But you like, nah, that's not the real them. They was going through something for that period. You met them at a period where they wasn't themselves. They wasn't at their full strength. Now you think that's that person, but nah, you gotta know that person. You gotta know that real person. You just see things about them. They going through something, or they going through a period, or you slipping. Get it together. You slacking, man. Get it together. You ain't being who we know you could be. But people they'll get to know that part of you and think that's who you are, and that'll breed contempt. When it's like, nah, that person was just going through something at that time. You better check their resume.
Right. God.
Right. Don't judge them on that year or two that you think you know them, that you think you're familiar with them. Nah, I've been around them 20 years. You don't know the real. You better check their resume. You don't know the real person. You think you know who you met now, but they going through something. Let them get back on point. You're gonna see what they're really made of.
God.
All right. Familiarity breeds contempt, but familiarity can also breed respect. The more people know you or think they know you, they can lose respect. Or the more people know you or think they know you, you can be honored and get that respect because your name speaks for itself. By Shema Mashiach Yahawashi. Yeah, Ariel, put part 1. If y'all can change the time, put part 1 on this. I want to do a part 2. I say that about a lot of lessons, but
okay, God.
because it's more. I didn't even get to show all the articles and the videos. Just save those. All right. So familiarity breeds contempt by Shema Mashiach Yahawashi. Just some examples of scripture. All right. So let's switch over to Zoom for the meeting. That concludes the class. All praise to the Most High Mashiach Yahawashi. Hope y'all was edified. If you learned one thing, I've done my job. If you relearned something, I've done my job. If you heard something over that you already knew, I've done my job. Bye, Shema Mashiach Yahawashi.
Shema Mashiach Yahawashi. Great lesson.
Kind. Kwame Ashala, we still got next. Hallelujah. HR to them chariots fly, only screaming if you mean it. Priest Zabach, Gabar Ash reading for me. HOI to them chariots fly. Hallelujah. We still got next. Bring it out. Shalom.
Shalom.
Come.
Come. So we going over.
House of Israel.